Good morning, bitches. Good morning, my bitches. Good morning, all. We're all bitches in somebody's life. We're all bitches. Good morning. How are we feeling today? I'm going to remove that fan out of my background. It's actually pissing me off. I was feeling too lazy to do it behind this fucking chair. But every time I'm on screen, I feel like more motivated to do things with you guys. So if you're here, I can do it. I'll move that fan. Teehee. Top of the morning. Wait, I should turn it on. I turned on the fan. Wee. I sit in chair now. Guys, when I finally figured out how to what's it called? How to make my camera only focus on my face instead of the thing that's foremost in front of the camera, it was a game changer for me, dog. But anyways, if you guys would like to retweet my going live tweet, please do. Please fucking do. Wait, I'm going to change it to just chatting first. We're just chatting first. Good morning. Top of the morning to you, laddies. Hi, babies. Good morning. How are you feeling today? Happy new week. Happy Tuesday. In this channel, the first day of the week is not Monday. It is Tuesday because that is when we start streaming. So Tuesday is the Monday of our week. Monday is my Sunday. Thoughts on that? Or what are our thoughts on that process? But how are we feeling? Parker, welcome. And thank you for redeeming first. Triper, thank you for redeeming kind of first. Welcome in Fief, Triper, Sarah, Cav, baby, Shania, baby, Navina, baby, Shan, baby. So many friends. What the heck? So many friends that I have to shout out. Let me just type it out so I can do it all at once. Hell yeah. Oh, how did we sleep? Did we sleep okay today? I woke up super early to take a shower, to do my hair, then to do my makeup, and to try and get through most of Singles Inferno's latest episode, but I didn't manage to finish it before stream, so. It's alright. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep in it. What's it called? But yeah, how did we sleep, you guys? Tell me all about your weekend. What did you guys do on the weekend? How is work right now? Are you at work? What are you drinking? What is the beverage of the day? Please let me know. I am itching. I am itching at the seams to know. Ninja, that badge be looking fire on you. That badge looks fucking... I want to give you a shout out, but I can't right now. It says I have to wait 1 minute. Okay, wait. I'll wait. But Ninja, all the fucking hype in chat for Ninja hitting partner, dude. Ninja got partner after a fucking massive war with Dan Clancy. I'm so proud of you. Also, I'm just a humble viewer. Shut up. Congratulations. Are you fucking kidding me? That is not an easy feat, nor an easy arm, nor an easy forearm, nor an easy elbow. That is so difficult to get. Nothing has traumatized me more on this website than pushing for partner. Pushing for partner was truly hell. It was truly hell. Truly. But I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Uh, Jesus. Oh my God, that just made me open up my Discord for my push to partner thing. I can see my pushing to partner. Like, I have this like little section that's limited in my Discord, and it was my path to partner section, and I'm looking at it. Oh my God, that's fucking disgusting. Oh my God, it's making me emo. Jesus. You look pretty today. Stop. Don't be nice to me right now. Don't be nice to me right now. Stop. You're pretty today, bitch. But congratulations. I'm super hyped for you. Which reminds me that I want to get a hype command that makes it hype on the screen. But I'm struggling with mix it up going back to the scene that I was originally at. It doesn't do that anymore. Yeah, that's Leah's ass. That's Leah right there. It doesn't do that. Like, I can't figure out, like, go back to the scene that I was already at. It doesn't do that, which is kind of annoying. So I'd have to, like, manually figure out the scene that I have to go to. Which, I mean, I could do. I could do that. I could figure that out. Hi, Navina. Fief, you're ready to attack? Are you about to attack me? Blech. Thank you for the delicious poopy shoopy. Thank you. I've been shit on. I've been shitted on. Thank you. Poison, hi. Welcome in. How are you? Can we get a shout out for Poison, please, also? I gotta go. Ninja, I just got shitted on. It's okay. I got shitted on. Guys, Poison over here is my rep for Advanced GG. You know, if you guys have forgotten, you know, the energy brand that I'm working with, please do go ahead and grab your 30% off, bad bitches. Thank you for shout out. Sitting here like, how do I work this? Oh, Fifi, you have to click on the screen. Yeah, a lot of people buy it and then forget to send it. Ferris went to this chat. Thank you. Welcome into the shitted on stream. Get shitted on, pooped on. Page your upload, you achieve critical comfy levels. Triper, are you talking about the movie? I was severe comfort moment. I was max comfort. I was just like in my hoodie, in this lounge chair, living my best life. Of which I must say. Okay, no, I won't say it. I shouldn't say it. I was fluffy. I really was. I love the hoodie, but I don't like working with them. I'll say it up front. I'll be honest. They weren't very good to me. Yeah. They have a lot of like shady business behavior. It's just kind of weird, to be honest, when you think about it. Anyways. Yeah. You're so fluffy. I am very fluff. I'm very fluff. But anyways, if you guys would like to retweet my going live tweet, this is where it is at. Please do so. It helps support me and the channel for free. It helps me get out there. People will see the going live tweet. I'll show you an idiot. Stop. Get some help. I'm only reposting because I think your hair looks. Stop. That's not per. No other reason. Oh, thank you. Thanks. That's nice. No worries, baby. Love you, Shania. Good luck. Please do edit. Be strong. Be productive. I'm proud of you. How was my weekend? Oh, dude, I did nothing. What did I do this weekend? Actually, what the fuck did I do? I went to see Brandon. My brother left. He went back to university. In the province that he's at, which I won't say. Hi, Whack. Welcome in. What else happened? Yeah, I just hung out with Brandon, really, honestly. I just hung out with Brandon. What else happened? Nothing, but today I'm actually gonna go watch that movie. The boxing movie with Zac Efron and Supreme Daddy. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. Supreme Daddy, Jeremy Allen White. The only white man that I would let hit. He is so fine. Have you guys watched him in The Bear? The Bear? Have you guys watched The Bear, the cooking? Yes, chef! Me, you. It's so good that I forced my dad to watch The Bear. I was like, Dad, you have to watch it. And he was only convinced when they won like Golden Globes. I'm like, Baba, you have to watch it. You have to fucking watch that fucking show. I adore it. He's so hot. And Shameless. Oh my god. I was obsessed with him as Lip in Shameless. I got even more obsessed as the bear. And now I'm just like, I must watch everything he's been in. Everything this man touches is for me. Also, I've seen a lot of people like shit on Zac Efron the way that he looks in the new movie. But like, you guys remember that he broke his jaw, right? Like he looks different because the man broke his jaw. Like, he didn't get work done. He had to have work done because he broke his jaw. He literally broke his jaw. Like, let's remember that. Yeah, literally, like, let him be. Haram, he literally slipped on his feet with socks on, and the motherfucker broke his jaw. Fucking new fear unlocked, dude. New fucking fear unlocked. Sarah, please. Sarah, contain yourself. Sarah, contain yourself, please. He is fine. I just don't think he's my type. I don't think. I can understand how he's objectively attractive 100%. Like, I'll never knock that down. He's not my type personally. I prefer like a little hint of like a feature that makes you like a different type of attractive. I prefer non-objective beauty. Does that make sense? Like Jeremy Allen White, I don't think is like the objective standard of hot. But for some reason we could all agree that he is sexy. And it's not, it's like different. It's built different. I don't like conventionally attractive people by like normal beauty standards. Does that make sense? I like people who are built a little different. Does that make sense? My fear is a locked jaw. What is a locked jaw? What does that mean? Does that mean it gets like stuck? Hi Andrew, welcome in. Does that mean it gets like stuck? Oh god, ooh. No, that's scary. That's scary. I don't like that. How we doing? How we sleep? I slept okay. I slept okay so far, honestly. I slept okay. I've been struggling to go to sleep is my issue, but once I'm dead, I'm knocked out. But like my issue is like starting the sleep. You know, it's hard for me to put away my phone. And it's hard to continue. Oh, also, Fifa, I forgot to say thank you for the 100 biddies. I forgot to include that in the thank yous. Thank you. What the hell? What the fuck? Am I stupid? But yeah, it's been a little like hard in that way. Also, I just want everybody to be aware that I am planning a quote-unquote subathon for my return back. I am planning that. Wink, wink. Hint, hint. And it won't be the type of subathon where I'm like going consistently. It'll be like we add time, but we continue that time every day. So we'd be streaming every day if the counter allows. Just making that very clear. Okay, I'm putting it out there that is something that's being planned. But once we're in a bed, it's night-night. Yeah, no, not for me. No, even when I'm in the bed, it's not night-night still. I have to be like I have to... Once I'm asleep, it's night-night. It's capped to a degree. In a sense, like I do what I can that day. Like I'll stream how many hours I can that day. And then I'll continue again the next day. But like it'll be uncapped in terms of the days. But capped in terms of my ability to stream that day. I think after doing like a 7-day full stream nonstop, I think I've found out my limits. I don't think I can do consistent streams like that. It's just a lot for my body. I don't even gotta be in bed to be nice. Must be nice. Cannot be me. I have to have very specific conditions to fall asleep. It's so hard for me to even fall asleep in a car. I have to be lying down fully to be sleeping in a car. Like I can't be like sitting up. I can't do it in a plane either. It's impossible. Hit my bed and fall. That must be so nice. It's hard for me because I literally like just sit in bed and work sometimes. So I don't think that's like a thing for me. Must be nice though. Anita Maxween. Goat, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome. Where's the sweater? This is, I thrifted this, but it's from Aritzia. It's from Aritzia, but I thrifted it. It's really old. I got it like 4 or 5 years ago. It's old. At least you get sleep. True. Me and my magnesium glycinate like this, homie. There's a place called Plato's Closet, which is like a thrift store in Canada. It's fucking awesome. They have like Aritzia shit, like a shit ton of it, for way cheaper. Like way cheaper. Like, I think this sweater was initially like $160 or something, and I got it for $20 Canadian. I don't know what 20 CAD is in American. In American, it is $14.92. I love thrifting. I don't know what it is with my parents and thrifting. They're like, no, Farah. I mean, I put it in Google, yeah. I'd be on Depop. No, I don't. Depop stresses me out because a lot of people make the prices so much more expensive. They're so much more pricey than they would be on like Plato's Closet. Also, I got it dirty with coffee. Let me be. Like, Plato's Closet is so much cheaper. Also, Sage, hi, welcome in. That's why I argue them down. No, I can't. I feel guilty. Should I round it to 15? No, I don't want to. I want to be specific. Goodwill? I've never been to a Goodwill. But I know what's a great thrift store in New York. Buffalo Exchange. I got a Helmut Lang fucking jacket, which is like normally like $1,800. I got it for $100. I was like, wow. Oh my god, it's Valkyrie's birthday. My god, she's so hot. She's like 32 today. My god, you give me hope to be this sexy at that age. How is she so pretty? Her outfit is insane. She's so pretty. Oh, it was yesterday. Yesterday was her birthday. Gallery. I got some of my fave pieces there. So true. We love it there. I love the song, by the way. It's a good song. Coffee, the national standard of being human. Truth. Going all the way. I was like, by the way, guys, should we just like work out on stream together so I can actually feel motivated to work out? If she said, I would so believe it. Also, hi, Cav, baby. So many homies to shout out. I'd work out with you, girlfriend. Would you really? But you're mostly at work when I stream, no? Hi, Turvy, baby. I'm always, when I'm streaming, you're usually at work. I'll take some laps. Also, guys, did you guys see the guy, the moderator who was on this like girls like Twitch stream, and it was like super painful? She was like pretty much degrading him. I'm sick. Oh no, I'm sick. Boo, you whore. Feel better, baby. What kind of sickness? Are you okay? I hope it's just a cold. Please feel better. It's been going around. Like, yeah, I heard there's something like it's a new variant of COVID these days. To stay up till 4. Fair. That stream was hard to. It really was hard to watch. Yeah. Do you guys want to watch it? You guys want to watch it? Also, I'm just congested, but I'm upset about it. Aw. Feel better. Have some throat coat, and then have some vapor rub and put it here. Should we watch it together? She said, I mean, I call it throat coat, but it's called throat coat. Guys, should we watch it? Hi, Latte baby, welcome in. Ooh, shut up.
When it comes to sad, pathetic things on the internet.
Okay, can I pause it, please? Why are you lagging? Like, girl, I already am. All right, bitch. Shit. Okay, let's watch it. We're gonna watch it together. I'm gonna put you all through this. I'm so sorry. You're all gonna suffer. It's gonna be awesome.
I feel like I've seen it all. I'm like the Oracle from the Matrix. Nothing surprises me anymore. Yet today
No,
I
not
bore
the
witness
wrong
to
shout out. Cavulations. Who did that? Sarah.
something so tragically embarrassing on Twitch that it's making me reflect, and
Guys,
it's
watch.
put me in a very somber state.
Hi, homie,
I feel as
baby.
though I'm at a funeral service. A streamer invited one
Don't
of
forget redeem your daily coins.
her mods to hang out with her in real life, and then did a stream that was an hour and 25 minutes of agonizing, miserable, inhumane torture.
Guys, watch this.
Waterboarding
This is so
would have
bad.
felt
This
more
is
pleasant
so
for
bad.
this mod, I imagine. She spends the entire
This is
stream
very
basically
loud.
just insulting him. He is the butt of every one of her jokes.
This is
and she
so
kinda
bad.
just reduces him to a spittoon for her and her chat
Hi,
to
Marcus.
spit in and make fun of. Now, I think punching bags get treated with more respect than this.
Sarah, are you talking about Charlie? I like Charlie. Charlie's good. This is not... Charlie isn't doing anything wrong. The fuck did Charlie do, Sarah?
Guy did, and it only got worse the longer the stream went on. She had a donation goal where if the stream gave her $500, she
Leave
would
Charlie
kiss him.
This is the situation. Please.
If you ever want to get drunk really fast, just have to kiss Dilly. You'll be fucked up.
No, that's Moist Critical.
It's over.
That is soul
No,
crushing.
that's not Moist. That's Penguin. The fuck? This is not Moist. I mean, Moisty. Moist Critical on... Yeah. Moist Critical on Twitch. But on YouTube, he's Penguins.
Mean-spirited. That is downright diabolical. Saying if you want to get drunk, just try and kiss
You hate
Dilly.
what,
You'll be
soju?
fucked up by the end of the night. Saying that you have to be hammered to want to kiss this guy. And this is the attitude
This
for the
Amazon
entire
hack
stream.
will
So
save
she
you
makes it
Pervy.
pretty clear that she
But
can't
will
really...
God forgive you?
Derby, thank you so much for the...
Boo-boo.
Thank you so much for the 19 months, baby. Thank you so much for the 19 months, my love. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
stand to be
Oh, I
around
love
him
soju.
unless she is extraordinarily drunk. So the whole time she is drinking throughout the stream.
Did you know that
they
soju
reach
is 600 calories? Your chat made me change my pick. Well, I'm glad that it gives people the incentive to be their best selves. You know? Thank you for the 19 months. I love you, baby. I hope you enjoy another month of your emotes, your sub veg, and your ad preview.
the donation goal, so now
Did
she
you guys know that soju has 600 calories in one bottle? Brayden asked me, Farrah, did you have breakfast yet? I was like, babe, I'm streaming. Love you. Wait, let me send him a cute picture. That's Brandon. Yeah, Smack is Brandon.
is obligated to give him a little smooch.
Guys, so she made a ew, Dono Gold Dilly sniffs my laundry. What the fuck? Okay, whatever, that's fucking weird. But anyways, she has like she essentially had, okay, a dono goal. She had a donation goal, all right? All right, where it was like $500. She has like a stream that for like an hour and a half, and like they have $500 donation. Like, okay, I get to kiss Dilly. This guy's name is Dilly. What the fuck? Okay, that is the easiest money hack I've ever heard of in my life. First of all, that's fucking awesome. Second of all, who the fuck is paying for that though? Like, my question is like, who's paying for that? Third of all, I'm gonna be real. I think this is fake as shit. This is fake. This is all scripted. This is so scripted. But it doesn't make it any less cringe. That's all I'm gonna say. She gets all the benefit for the literally horny people. So true. Hi, Levi. Welcome in. Can we get a shout out for Levi? If it's real, it's real. I mean, at this point, he consented. He consented to doing. Like, he's an adult. It's not like we have to protect. He's an adult. This is an adult man. It's in his control, in my opinion. I'm sorry. It's just in his control to be like, no, dude, like, stop. Like, But she's also being kind of like, I don't like, even for content, this isn't very nice. Even as a form of content, it's not okay, in my opinion. It's not, it's kind of just mean.
Are you ready?
Can you pucker up? Pucker up.
This is I have small lips.
You snotted.
Oh, he has cat allergies also.
This is my allergy.
You went, little snots went on my leg.
It did? I'm
Yes.
so sorry.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, come on.
Okay, okay.
Sorry. I need to wash my mouth.
if I was watching
Like, if that was fake, okay, granted. But then if it was fake and scripted, like, why is he accepting that? Like, why is this even something that you want to script, first of all? Second of all, if it's not fake, what the fuck? Like, she knows she's pretty and she's using that. Can I be honest? Okay? Okay? It comes off feeling like she thinks she's supremely out of his league, which I think the concept of leagues is so stupid. Because I was looking at a picture of them together outside, and I was like, you guys look actually low-key kind of cute together. Like, if you had been a couple, like, I'd believe it. Like, I would never be like, oh my god, no way. Like, that would, when I'm looking at the picture, I'm like, you guys look good together. Not that you are together. I'm just saying, if that was a thing, you look good together. Like, I don't think he's bad looking. Exactly. I don't think he's bad looking at all. Like, I don't.
Hostage video where someone had kidnapped my grandmother, threatening to slit her throat unless I paid the ransom.
Okay, Charlie, that's
I
a
would
little
honestly
intense.
find that video to be less cruel and more humane than this Twitch
Charlie's
stream I
like
just watched.
overwhelming.
This
like,
is
things.
absolutely brutal.
Overwhelming
My
sometimes.
heart breaks for this guy. I don't know who he is.
His metaphors are
I
a
don't
lot.
know what he's done to deserve this, but this is like a divine punishment here. This whole thing was her idea. This was her donation incentive. And now she's acting like it was the worst thing that ever happened to her. It's so bad.
This can't
She's
get
gotta go
worse? Oh,
rinse
wait
her
for it,
mouth
buddy.
out. She's got to fucking brush her teeth and scrub it all
Just a little
down with
intense.
soap and bleach just to try and erase the stain that his lips put upon hers. It's just evil. This whole stream is her basically just bullying this guy.
Well. Jesus Christ.
Bless you, guys.
Are you okay?
Guys, the dono goal for an hour and a half, they've already hit $635. How? Wallahi lazim, if I could do it, I would. Wallahi lazim. If I could do that, I would. Aha. $635 for not even a full hour and a half stream. Just so that he could kiss her. And almost 300 and something more for him to sniff her laundry. Are you shitting me?
I'm good.
Okay.
18 minutes. No, it was an hour and a half stream, I think.
I'm back, guys. Sorry. I'm
No,
good.
it's an hour and a half stream, Ninja.
I'm good.
This video
She's
is
putting
just
on this
18
big
minutes.
song and dance about how gross and disgusting this was when it was her idea. She's doing this just to make him feel even worse and put on a show for her chat at this guy's expense. Like, oh, this loveless loser virgin flew all the way here.
Damn,
And,
that's
oh, I
just
just
brutal.
had to kiss him. Like, that's so mean. And
mean,
this
yeah.
should be a wake-up call to her chat that, like, donates money to her under this idea that she's going to like them or something like that.
There's
Or
no way anybody thinks
parasocially
that. There's no
donating to
fucking
her
way.
Because they think that
Hi,
they're
Baker,
gonna be
welcome in.
friends or even more than that.
We're getting
This
cringed
should
out
be the
this lovely
biggest
Tuesday.
wake-up call. Your third eye should be fucking beaming from your forehead
Third eye.
right now with this out there. This is her mod. Someone who literally, like, does a ton for her. And this is how he's getting treated in front of everybody. That's what she thinks of.
Wait till you see their interview.
Well. Now, like I
Yeah,
said,
no,
it's
that's her
not
mod.
just this viral moment here. The very beginning of the stream comes out fucking guns blazing, going hog wild about this guy.
Wait till you
having
see his
no
interview.
shot with her, and that she doesn't even really respect him at all.
Yeah, Dilly's living the dream. Aren't you so happy to be here?
Yeah. It's my dream, y'all.
Yeah, I've been posting pictures of Dilly every single day on Discord, and this guy cannot hang.
See, that was uncalled for in my opinion. Like that's beyond the content. Like if your content is if you guys agreed upon like I don't know like shitting on him for like wanting to be like I don't know like an incel like mod or whatever who wants to get with you or whatever. Like shitting on him for being like a normal human being like it's your dream, right? Like he can't hang. What is that? What is that? Why do you have to say that? That's so mean.
Dilly's eyes are fucked. It's because I have cats and he's allergic, and he has allergy medicine. Doesn't he look like Gru from Despicable Me? Sorry, every time
That's just too far.
I see Dilly, I just start laughing.
This is the very beginning of the stream. This is chapter 1. It's not even chapter 1. This is the prologue. And she immediately comes out of the gate saying that he looks like Gru from Despicable
And
Me.
also,
and
he
she
doesn't
can't
look
help
like
but
Gru.
laugh when she sees him. The stream doesn't even make it 5 full minutes.
can't hang
without
'cause he's
her making
allergic.
sure to
How dare
insult him
he.
in front of everybody.
How dare
He's just
he be
getting
allergic.
publicly flogged immediately. She is flaying him alive throughout most of the stream. Again, this whole hour and 25 minutes is basically just make fun of Dilly and let the chat make fun of Dilly too. It's so mean-spirited. And this guy, again, I don't know anything about him. He wasn't even creepy
No,
or
he's
weird
pretty normal.
or awkward. He seemed like just a very normal guy.
Welcome back from the ad break,
pretty
y'all.
nice and really not weird. Yes, he does come across as like a little lonely and a little social.
Turvy, he doesn't get paid. He gets paid in exposure. Oh, also, just so you know, he bought her PC. He bought her PC.
Socially shy, but there's no like red flags or anything alarming about this guy at all. This must have been hell on earth for him to not only get invited out by the person that he clearly cares about since he mods for her, but to go there.
You know what? I can't lie. This is why I do such a show of like actively like showing Brandon and like the fact that I am in fact engaged, because sometimes like motherfuckers be wild. Like I can't lie. Like I get it. I get the parasocial relationships exist and shit, but like still like that's a little much. Like that's a little much. That's a little, people on YouTube, for example, some of them, like, because I don't really get the chance to talk about Brandon quite often. They'll go to my Instagram and like I've had people go on to like my engagement pictures and be like, "You've just crushed my dreams." I shit you not. Like I shit you not. Like take that in. Like that's fucking weird. And I'm a nobody. I'm one of these, I'm such a small streamer. So I can't even imagine what it's like for like bigger people like this. Like I can't even imagine like what it's like for people like this. Holy shit, that's so like, for example, everybody figured out that Amaranth was married or whatever at the time. Like the way that people were like revolting, they're like, how could she do this? Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? You and Brandon, oh yeah, Moon, we got engaged. We got engaged in July. Yeah, he proposed in July. Fun fact. Missed a chapter. Yeah, July, we're engaged. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Isn't that crazy?
And then just be perpetually insulted directly by that person.
Hi, Rio. Can we get a shout out for
the
Rio? And hi,
community
Taylor.
that you mod for, having all these tomatoes thrown at you throughout the whole thing. And on top of all of that, be surrounded by cats which trigger his allergies. The misery must have been indescribable. Like, I'm getting parasocial with it because I actually just really do feel
like,
bad
the cats
for him
are worth
here.
it to me.
Brother, come on.
Fuck the allergies.
Have some more self-respect. Have some more confidence. You deserve it. You deserve better than this treatment here. That was just so mean.
Go follow
Now,
Rio.
I already know the cope. I know what the excuse is going to be. Oh, she's clearly just pushing his buttons. They're just joshing around. They're very close friends, obviously. But I don't get that impression at all. These aren't jokes I would tell to even my best friend Matt, who I've known since middle school.
Facts, Andrew,
a lot
facts.
of what she says to and about Dilly is just downright
Though
nasty.
I'll be honest, though, the idea of like there's plenty of people out there, just gotta find them. I can't lie. As a person who already has a person, I can't imagine going out and trying to find somebody. I'll be fucking honest. I'd be on a dating app max because I don't like to leave my house. Like I'm having that issue with getting friends in my area. I'm like, ugh, this is a lot of work. Like, I don't want to leave the house. Like, just the idea, that's like a lot of work. Like,
I would never say to Matt, like, the only reason, you know, your wife ever kissed you is because she must have been blackout drunk and forgot what you looked like or something. That's just so fucked up. And, like, she makes statements like that pretty often throughout this
facts,
stream.
I'll say. I'm already on Bumblebee.
She is just insulting this guy as much as possible to make him a laughingstock for her stream.
Cute couple, baby, are not dating. I do not claim this.
I do not claim
That's
this.
so mean, but don't claim it. So yeah, 1 hour stream, so every minute counts.
Why are you saying this? My semi-recent dating show was terrible, lol. I got so... Me too, bro. Me fucking too. Me too. Honestly.
I made a donation goal of
$500 to kiss Dilly. $500.
Dilly, so we hit it.
Guys, who do I gotta kiss to get $500?
We hit it, but hopefully I will be drunk for that. Let's take the first shot of the night, yeah? Is it too early?
No. Cheers.
The way she responded to
Me,
the
bitch.
cute couple statement seemed like she was genuinely offended anyone would even say
Hi, Nine.
something
Welcome
like
in.
that. Now, keep in mind, she's still sober right here, so this is still her insulting him with the training wheels on. She hasn't even taken the
she's
gloves
not treating
off
him like
yet.
a person. It's really
It gets
dark.
really bad shortly after.
And I made all the boys go at Dilly to help change his pants. So I think Dilly threw away his chunky throat pants in the trash. Dilly had the same size hands.
No.
Oh my god.
He literally doesn't, though. Like, her hands are above.
You have baby hands.
No way.
Yeah, we have the same size hands. That means you have a small dick.
Was that necessary? Was that necessary? Like, is that too slew of me? I don't think so, Turby, honestly. She literally pushed her hand up. And also, that does not mean anything about penile size.
The astute observers out there will have noticed that I put the stream to 2 times speed during her story
Do you think that people,
times.
like, a part of me believes that this is all just fake and, like, they're targeting an audience who have, like, a shame kink. Like, honestly, it's giving shame kinking. It's giving shame kink, like, viewership. Like, and if that's the thing, then all the power to you. Like, if y'all are both consensual adults wanting to do that kind of shit, you do you, boo-boo. You do you.
I'll openly admit to it. The reason is because it was genuinely painful listening to her tell those stories because it's just shitting on Dilly. She's putting him on blast as frequently
But see,
as
Cav, like, I believed that for a bit, and then I saw the interview with Charlie, and I'm like, wait, what?
possible.
That made me,
His
like,
most
confused.
embarrassing moments. So, giving his lowlights. Here's the worst of moments with Dilly. Here's what Dilly did that was so embarrassing last night. You guys need to hear this.
Turby.
It's just, again, so unnecessary.
I don't think she's giving him hope, though.
And then, of course, she
No,
has
I don't
to
think
do
so,
something
at
about
all.
penis size. So she says, we have the same size hands, which means you have a tiny dick. Your hands aren't even
Maybe.
the same size.
Perhaps,
His
Striper.
hands are visibly bigger than yours. But again, this is just being rude for the sake of it. Nobody is meaner to tier 3 subs
It's giving
or
shame
Twitch
kinking.
mods than the streamer themselves, it seems. She is so much nastier to her mod than anyone on Twitter has ever been to any mod for any streamer ever. Now, there are a couple times in the stream
I don't
that she
claim
says
that.
that they're good friends,
I've
so
never
it's
been
all
mean to my mods.
in good fun.
They're mean to
And
me.
what a load of dirty barnacles. I think she says that to try and convince Dilly, and Dilly,
See?
he believes it.
Did I
Dilly's
swear at
bought
her?
into
No.
that fantasy.
My mod swear
this
at me.
does not strike me as two people that are friends. This strikes me as her using him for content as a
Wait,
punching
I just
bag.
kind of want to see this.
This interaction,
Can we
I
just
think, is the
get
most
to it?
6 months. Fuck. Okay, so in case you guys know
Get back with Dale or get with Dilly for 6 months. Listen to what she's about to say.
or don't know, I don't want to say his name out loud. This ex fucking traumatized me. He had a gambling addiction, drug addiction, porn addiction. Like, he actually fucked me up. Okay, so either go through like trauma and emotional abuse, or date Dilly for 6 months. Trying to get back with my ex. Okay, next question.
Her ex-boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend. Who emotionally abused the shit out of her. Oh yeah, I get back with him. Over being with Dilly. Also, what is this fucking question? Is it true that you have 20? Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck are you? Why are you asking that question? Bro, the way that I would... What the fuck? What kind of... Who the fuck is asking this question?
Is it true that you have
It's in 2 times speed because, again, she was going on
Fuck you!
a montage of degrading him. And then it got to that question.
She's
Would
spitting
you
somebody's
rather
mouth?
get back
What
with
the
your
fuck, really?
ex, who apparently traumatized her, or
Yeah, apparently,
date
Andrew.
Dilly for 6 months? And
The
she
guy who
chooses
traumatized her
ex,
is better than being
and
with
then
Dilly.
just laughs it off. She,
Maybe she meant it in this... I'm playing devil's advocate in this moment right now, but like, what if she meant it in the sense of like she's already had that form of intimacy with her ex versus like being with somebody that she only sees as like very platonic?
she would rather be in, I guess, this emotionally abusive situation that she called it, and be traumatized than be... She is treating you like a subhuman pile of...
Yeah, there is a right or wrong answer.
Would you hit?
Me personally,
Rate mod at 1 out of 10.
you rate me first.
10 out of 10.
Oh, fuck, you know I'm not gonna rate. I'm just gonna drink.
That means I'm a 6. It's okay.
If it was a 6, I would have said that out loud.
Oh.
Hi, Tuddles. She didn't need to say that. She didn't need to say that. He said she was a 10 out of 10, and then she was like, oh, that's so nice. I'm not going to say anything. And so he's like, I guess that means I'm a 6. And she's like, if it was a 6, I would have said it out loud. Was that necessary? Like, honestly, was that necessary? Like, that's you don't need to say anything there. Like if you don't believe that, if you believe that, fine. But you don't have to say anything in that moment. Like, it's just not very kind. Yeah, this is where I'm like, oh, this kind of crosses the line beyond. Like, this is just not nice. Like, this is just like really mean now. Like, I don't know. That one's like a little bit too much, IMO.
Again, it's just an absolute flurry of disrespect from her towards Dilly.
That was a bit
But
much.
I wanted to show this clip here at the end because I think this is a great summation of how this whole experience went, where he rates her a 10 out of 10. And then she
Yikes.
refuses to rate him, so he playfully's like, oh, okay, that must mean like I'm a 6. And then she didn't have to say anything. She could have just moved on to the
Let's
next
go to the
question.
other parts.
But she went out of her...
I'm gonna answer this one,
How likely is it for him to pick up a girl tonight?
honestly.
Honestly, you're not getting shit. I think maybe a girl be down to dance with you, you know?
That's a win.
But there's no way. I don't think you're getting any girls' numbers. Or going home with. I'm gonna say it's a 0 out of 10.
Well, obviously, I wouldn't bring anyone back here, but
I would
He's
like
staying
to.
at her house.
I'm a good friend. So if you want to bring a girl back here, you can. But I'm just being honest, I don't see it. Prove me wrong, though. You know, prove me wrong.
I was
Why? Why do you have to knock him down like that?
putting him down again for the millionth time this stream.
Who's better looking, Dilly or your ex? My ex. Next question. Do you ever have any feelings for any of your mods, including him? Hell no. That's why they're my mods.
Last clip from this stream.
That's true. But it's just like a little off. It's a little off. Okay, I was watching this interview, right? It's fucked up. This is fucked up.
Sponsor. So
This is fucked up. Did you watch this, guys?
Your name's Dylan. Is that okay
Yeah.
if I call you that?
yeah, you can call me Dylan.
All right. So why don't we just take it from the top? So how did you and Caitlin
By the way-
meet?
He's still at her house. While being interviewed for this, he's still at her house. Turvy, I had to. I was looking up the price for something. Shh. Shh.
And become friends.
He's at her house.
So we became business partners first, right? So I reached out to her and
Business partners. Now, I want you to listen very clearly what he thinks business partner means. What his definition of business partner means. Because when I heard this, I'm like, business partner where? How is this a business partner? This is a sponsor.
wanted to get her PC set up kind of right. So that's kind of like
I wanted to get her
words that I'm
PC
gonna
set up
receive on the
right.
Sponsor.
How does that make you sponsor? Correct. That's not a
so-
partner.
We met initially 2 years ago, and I built her computer, and then just kind of hit it off as friends, and then I became kind of a mod doing more behind the scenes work for content related stuff, and just kind of had a
He's
personal
not, Baker.
relationship with
He's not.
kind of how tight knit with
He
that
built it.
kind of stuff
And bought it.
around.
Cav. He built it and bought it.
Okay, I think that
And he's
makes
saying
a lot
business
of sense.
partner.
Now, how
Business partner where? That's not partnership. This is a sponsorship.
close
No,
would
he
you
built
say
it
you
too,
guys are?
Cav.
Do you guys like talk every day? Do you guys play games together off stream? Like, what does that dynamic look like?
Yeah, so yeah, no, we do play games off stream together. She is like super into Valorant.
Bye,
and
Marcus.
she's
Have a good
made
day.
me
Have a good day at work.
Probably a way better player than just from our friendship and just
I benefit because she made me a better Valo player. I benefit because she made me a better Valorant player. The fuck are you talking about, bro?
having our banter and just like going back and forth on stuff like that. So I just like I've gotten better at games thanks to her and our time off stream. And then
Fact Ninja.
we talk pretty much every week because we have like obviously so I want to tell people that I came and visited and I'm on vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey,
I don't know
let's
about-
do
Yeah, go.
some streams together, right? So I know how to cook, and I know she's into cooking streams, and then that we would do like a drinking stream, right? So
Difficult to watch. I swear to God.
that's just kind
He's-
of what happened.
Guys,
I was like,
I've never said this word in my life, but this is severe copium. This is the definition of copium. This is max cope. This man is smoking the copium so hard right now. Holy shit.
"Oh, let's
I
get
have
the
never
most out of my
seen
trip."
such divine
Because
copium
it
in
was,
my
like,
life.
Super last minute, and she was like super accommodating for a last minute idea.
Delulu,
Now, when
copium,
I think all
whatever.
of that content idea sounds super logical, but did you discuss like you being the subject of all of the jokes? I'm using that word real loosey goosey here because in my
Yeah.
opinion, it's less jokes and more just deep cut insults. And I know you're at her house right now, so it might be a little uncomfortable to get.
Why is he doing
curious
this at his
about it,
her house?
No, I mean, I've thought about it and just like, I've been kind of shifting, I've been in a character arc development, right? So I've been taking more initiative on being a part of her content, right? So like she does other content like
You didn't know what
shows,
coping means? It's like coping.
interviews, therapy, just chatting meta, right? And I have recently became like a co-host, a personality that's a regular
Yeah, he's pretty much making himself out to be like this character.
on her.
Yeah, Latte, but like you see that, right? You say that, right? And I agree. And I initially 100% agreed, and I do. But I don't think the jokes themselves and how extreme they were scripted. And it comes off later as he says things like, he's like, I feel like I'm burdening it. Like, I'm the type of guy to burden it. Why the fuck are you burdening it?
Chat, and the personality I like to give is like, my nickname's the Dizzler, hence the rise of the Riz, a Rizzler, Dizzler.
Stop.
Right?
What Riz were you showing,
So,
sir?
Initially, the idea was, if I got a kiss, it'd
I'm the
be
Dizzler.
like hype, be W's.
The Dizzler.
It's pushing that Dizzler narrative that
Stop
I've been working on
saying that
because I've been
seriously, stop.
doing Co-hosting, wingmanning for guys, helping the girls that do the content we do together, and because to talk to girls, you
Yeah,
have to have
exactly,
some kind
Turvey.
of
That's what I'm saying.
competency,
Yeah.
and like to have the competency to teach them how to work on the Riz, right? So like,
Stop. What
I have to
Riz?
have that kind of
What
confidence to
Riz?
talk to them, not back down and like, I'm a Discord mod, this and that. You just say I'm a normal guy that talks to people that just happens to mod.
But where was this arc exactly,
Which is
sir?
what happened.
Yeah, and I get that. That's not really like
Okay.
where I'm confused on the relationship or anything. But you already mentioned the kiss. Like, did you expect that kind of response when that donation goal was hit, where she'd
Piper,
start just like
me and you
dry
both,
heaving,
buddy.
like she, trying to throw up, like as if you were so unbelievably revolting that she had to run away, rinse out her mouth, fucking say a prayer or something for forgiveness because.
Okay,
of
Charlie.
kissing
Okay,
you?
with all due respect, Charlie's like going a little bit too much right here. He doesn't need to say all that. We don't need to. We don't need to make him feel worse, bro.
Like, there's no way that was a joke.
You know that Amaranth also interviewed him? This man is genuinely going on a media tour. Amaranth also interviewed this guy. Like, isn't that crazy?
coming, or like this was the content you envisioned.
I wasn't shocked from it because we've discussed, like our friendship.
Exactly,
is like
Latte.
brother,
He even says that
sister.
was too mean.
And then if you put your mindset on like, she only kisses someone very seldomly, if at all, right? That she has to kiss someone that she sees as like a little brother. And I can understand.
Yeah, but
that.
what
I
do you
wouldn't
say?
wanna Kiss my older sister and be,
Yeah, exactly.
Is that okay? So is that the relationship you feel you have with her, a brother sister? Do you
Like,
rate,
are you into her or
everything in that
not?
Stream, I watched it. You were extremely sweet and complimentary.
It is so obvious, though, that this guy would definitely go for her if she wanted it. Like, the only reason he sees her as an older sister is because she made him her younger brother.
Of her, like not
Like,
as a
it's-
sister, but as someone who is clearly more interested than that. Do you feel it's a brother sister relationship,
Exactly,
or
that's
just
what
the
I'm
way?
saying. So it makes it so much
brother, sister,
worse.
because I feel like when you mentioned something about like romantic interests, is like if that's the case, I wouldn't be invited to her place. I wouldn't be living here in her personal space, right? So that's the agreement and our trust and friendship.
Exactly, Turvey.
At that content level, and just like kind of.
I think he thinks, regardless of like whether the connection is bad or good, it's okay as long as he has a connection to her. Which is borderline kind of depressing for a Tuesday morning. I think we should switch up. Yeah, that's kind of depressing. I'm actually quite depressed about this concept. This is just dark. This is just like borderline dark at this point. It's a little dark. She's sitting just out of frame this whole time, this whole interview, her finger hovering over the block buttons on his profile. Oh God. I think if it was up to her though, she would have been like, like if she was controlling it, it would have had a better outcome, but I don't think she was, most likely. TBH. I'm a Prada. Also, guys, can we get some hype? Because I managed to stream on every single day that I said I would stream last week. Progress who? I know that's the bare minimum of a streamer, but still, I'm pretty proud of it. I know it's the bare minimum. I'm sorry. I know it's bare minimum, but I'm quite proud of it. What's her stance on all of this? She's like, we're friends. That's her stance. Her stance is, we're friends. You did that. Thank you. Thank you. I don't have a hype too. Should we do a hype too? Cav, you remember how you told me to add you? I don't know how to add you to that. How do I add you to that? Cavulations? Well, let me just do it on stream while I'm at it, since you're here. Cavulations? How do I add you? Andrew, thank you for the lyric, baby. Oh, okay. Thanks, Cav. Oh, maybe on chat settings. Okay. Chat settings. Okay. Generate invite link. Ooh, I found one. Cav, I found it. Cav, I sent you an invite link. Here you go. You can open it on Discord. I don't want this song. Anyways. Should we play the fucking game? Should I wear my glasses? Hi, Steve-O. Welcome in. Hi. Welcome in. No worries, baby. Thank you for wanting to help. Hi, Steve-O. Welcome in. I hope you're well. Let's keep watching cringe shit. You want to watch cringe shit, actually? Really? I'm down if you want to. What cringe shit do you want? If we did a try not to cringe, I would win. Honestly. It's hard for me to like react. But also a try not to laugh, I can do it no question. I really want to do a thing where the mods like send me a bunch of videos because I trust my mods to send me things that are appropriate for stream. For try not to laugh. If you guys would be down, if it wouldn't be too much effort on your part, I would love that. Can't hang, I'm allergic. Stop, Baker. Hi, Maggie. Can we get a shout out for Maggie, my love? Hi, baby. Our Minecraft queen. Watamote, not on stream, obviously. What the fuck is Watamote? What's Watamote? I can't find that. What is that? No matter how I look at you, look at it. It's your guys' fault. I'm not popular. What the fuck is that? Oh, is it a good enemy? I'm good. I hope you're well. Welcome in. How's your Tuesday morning going? And people in my community submitted them to a Discord channel, but only my mods reacted with a check mark to ones that were good for stream. It went really well that way. Maggie, that's so smart. My mods, guys, are you down to do that with me? Is that okay? Yes, but super secondhand crying. Really? Yeah? Okay, cool. I would love to do that then. I'd be honored. I love you. I really want to get my mods to be more like involved with me when it comes to like making content with me. I would love to have that with you guys. That'd be so fun. Also, look at Leia. Leia! Hi, princess. Hi, baby. I love you. Oh, I love that, Maggie. That's cute. Have them on screen and have a dick kiss dono. I hear it goes really well. Oh, so true, Turvy. It would go so well, I'm sure. It would go so well, I'm sure. I have no doubt. My buddy. Okay, let's change it to God of War, baby. Is it just canon? Listen, it's because of that fucking video that we were just watching about that guy who is that guy that was in a situation with his streamer, his streamer, and it was just a lot. Hi Trisha, baby, welcome in. It was just definitely something. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. My glasses hurt my chin. If Farah had asked at TwitchCon, I would have kissed her. Please. A lot bad. It was so bad. Oh my god. Meggie, if you get the chance, go watch my VOD back. It was so bad. It was so bad, Meggie. It's like genuinely the most cringe situation I've ever seen in my fucking life. It was like max cringe. Like the worst I've ever seen in my life. It's just, and it's just like, it's not even just cringe. It's just mean. Like it doesn't, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just feels, ugh, you know? Yeah. Sorry, his streamer, no, sorry. I meant his business partner, of course. He started off as her business partner. That's, yeah, they were business partners. What the, in what world, sir, were you business partners? In what kind of fucking copium? God help me. We were business partners. It's not, the thing is, Meggie, it's not the mod's fault, which I would have thought that was the case, because, well, men, but no, it's the streamers, like me being mean. Like, it's the streamer. Like, can you fucking believe that? God knows I wasn't fucking believing that. That shit was crazy. Poor guy, bro. Poor guy. Poor guy. But also, he's an adult. Ooh, what is this? Oh, it's the rock skipping, right?
We'll want to head under that archway when we're done here.
Wait, can one of my mods screenshot that and put it in the mod chat so I can remember to do that? We are the sun now, yes. I am boy. Oh, you see that, bitch? Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, no, I know. I fucking cracked like that. Can you screenshot Maggie's message? I used to love Hosier. Where the fuck are we going? What's the goal right now? This is why I don't like to stop mid something.
Where are we going now?
Steve-o, welcome
I
in.
have something for you.
Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're well.
I guess.
Welcome to our little shithole.
You scared?
No.
I don't have anything for you.
What the fuck was that? Oh, I'll DM it to you? No, put it in mod chat. It's better. I'll forget. With mod chat, it'll, like, I usually check that, like, every day. So, like, don't worry. Like, it's better for me to do that. Doing well, vibing. Oh, do you like God of War?
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Yeah, ask me anything, queen.
Are
Oh, it's the other way around.
The only giants left?
I love this game.
Sort of. It's complicated.
I wanna
Guys,
know.
it's okay. You won't be the giants left forever.
Much easier
You guys
to
can
just
repopulate the earth.
I promise.
Bismillah.
What about my prophecy then?
Wait, how the fuck do I say that name?
What do you think I should do?
Wait, I'm sorry. How do I say that? How do I say Selu? Selu per. I said it. I did that. Thank you so much for the sub. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy your sub magic emotes in your ad free viewing. Can I call you Sel? Is that okay? Can I call you Sel?
There's no changing where you end up. You can try
God of War
whatever
top
you
tier
want
is
to
so
avoid
true.
it, but it'll happen anyway.
So
You're
true.
telling me nobody has ever changed their fate? Ever?
I mean, sure,
Sel is fine? Okay,
maybe
cool.
some
Awesome.
details
Thank you for letting me
change,
know.
But the end point remains the same. It's better to walk your path than
No,
destroy
bro, I'm
yours.
not letting my father die. Dude, what the fuck? Right off the bat? Okay, well, how do you say it? Is it Seleucus? Is it Seleucus?
Yeah.
Kate, baby, welcome in. Can we get a shout out for Kate, please? Oh. Any ravens? Guys, by the way, if you don't know, I'm trying to, like, really, like, hardcore completionist this fucking
A
game.
lift. We'll have to leave Yalla for a bit.
I don't want to leave yellow.
We're heading upward.
I forget that sometimes some people are new here and they don't know, one, I'm Egyptian, so I'll be like randomly saying Arabic words and they'll be confused. And then two, it's that, well, actually that's it. Leaving to, I know, exactly. She's like, yeah, just let your dad die, haha. You'll get used to it. Seleucus. Okay.
This gift
Okay.
doesn't seem
No.
like something you're excited about.
Just means we're coming up to the end.
What does that mean?
You'll understand once we get there.
You don't get enough of Arabic? Oh, طيب خلاص. I'll speak Arabic just for you يا حبيبتي. هبوسك. أديك بوسة. هي مامي نحلة عشان تعمل كل العسل ده. Sorry. Nobody's gonna understand what that is, but it's hilarious. He's like, is your mother a bee to make all this honey?
Time to hold up my end of the prophecy.
Sorry.
Follow me.
حتة خرا. You're welcome. There you go. Your favorite reaction videos? Love. Oh my god, really? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my god. What? Thank you. I feel so emo when people like watch my content like on YouTube. I'm like, wow. That's crazy because I'm so small, so I'm like, I feel so seen. It's so weird. Yeah, I am Egyptian. Yes, yes. My favorite part on YouTube is like when somebody's like, it's so funny to me when somebody's from America and they don't know this. I'm like, first of all, I'm not in America. Second of all, I'm not American. Third of all, fuck you. Some people be sassy for what? Agarboda, why are you so okay with my father dying? Like, she's very chill about it. She really said you have to accept that your father's dying. Her name is Agarboda. She's a giant, like this kid Atreus right here. Atreus, sorry, not Atreus. His name is Atreus. His mom was, have you played the game? Maggie, do you know who these people are? Or am I explaining too much right now? I think reaction videos. Oh, so what have you gotten then from me in terms of reaction videos? What have you gotten in terms of myself then? Or what have you learnt about my true self? Die, ho! Purr. I'm a Morduo. Have I ever played the old God of War games? I've only played the last one, the one in 2018. But yeah, it's really good. I've only ever seen playthroughs. Okay, but so you know who Atreus is, though. Atreus is essentially Kratos' son and Faye's son also, but Faye was killed, etc., etc. Or Faye died. I don't remember how she died. But essentially, he's a giant. His name is actually Loki. He's actually Loki.
What happened to them?
They were tired of living in fear of Asgard.
So he's half god, half giant.
Hid. Left a pile of corpses to confuse Odin, should he ever find a way into Jotun.
I've never played the old ones,
Where they
actually. I
are?
wish I did. I didn't know they existed, actually. I only found out about God of War last year, and that's when I played the 2018 one on the PlayStation 4, and I was like amazed by how beautiful it was. Loki? He's Loki.
I got it.
She really says, I don't need a man. Or in this situation, I don't need a boy. Or actually, also in this situation, I don't need a god. My dad played all the God of War. Really? Latte, that's actually so wholesome. What the hell? That's so cute. She's so real for that, right? Girl boss. She's so pretty.
More marbles.
Wait, you've seen these before?
Not these, but I found a few in Midgard.
Where?
Inside your mother's murals.
Oh, but that's... There are more out there.
What are they?
Just look.
You would assume I'm a therapist? I'm not a therapist. I'm a streamer. I am not a therapist, but thank you. That is really sweet. I appreciate that. Vegeta Glory, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I hope you're well. But no, I am, I went to school for psychology. Yeah, I studied psychology at university. So in another life, I would have been a therapist. My stepmom would get upset. Would get kind of upset because she didn't think it was appropriate. Do we like your stepmom or do we not like your stepmom? Am I allowed to like talk some shit about your stepmom or therapist? Oh no, I'm mentally ill. I wanted to be a therapist, not a therapist. I wanted to be a criminal psychologist. Oh, love her. Never mind then. Haha. I wanted to be a criminal psychologist, but I realized that I'd probably be at risk of being like influenced by those assholes. No, thank you.
Yahtzee.
You think, Triper. You think.
Brother?
So these balls have words on them. Speaking balls. That just looks like a ping pong ball.
Faroh.
Balls of steel. Balls of fury.
Giants.
Anybody watch that movie? That's a great movie.
These belong to the Giants?
These are the Giants.
Balls of fury, so good. What? Wait, she said these are the Giants? Sorry?
They had a choice.
Sorry? Pause.
They could stay in Jotunheim, waiting for Odin to find a way in.
Or become balls?
Or they could hide.
How'd you release them?
My father helped whisper their souls into these.
Sorry, but how did they escape?
And before he died, he passed them on to me.
Habibi, how do we let go of the balls? Def would be upset about same here.
Peace. They found peace.
Yani, how do you know they found peace? Did you go in the ball? How do you know? Why are you speaking for them? They found peace. How the fuck do you know?
How they are your responsibility.
Responsibility how? Am I supposed to free them or play ping pong? Wallahi, I'd start playing ping pong. Hee!
Are you sure?
Well,
Can we get like Atreus a barber? Because that haircut is ass.
you're
The haircut is
supposed to know what to do with
questionable.
them when the time comes.
She plays games
When's
with
that?
balls. Probably. Maybe she goes bowling.
Let's head back.
See, if they were giants, they'd be bigger.
This is a lot of responsibility.
It is. And it's all yours.
Hey,
Why is she so pissed?
you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm done. I guess.
Does she feel
Now
meaningless
that I've
now?
given you those, my part in all this is over.
Or does she feel like lost and like, what am I
You
supposed
could
to do
always
now?
come with me. We could fight Odin together.
If I was supposed to fight alongside you, I wouldn't disappear from your damn mural halfway through.
Why is she so fucking pissed at me? Did I draw the fucking mural, bitch?
I understand.
The fuck did I do?
Well, we should
You think?
break up the set.
Oh my god, Steve-O, it's like they're titans. They're titans trapped in balls. I am Aaron Yeager. I am Ymir.
Let's keep walking.
He's so soft, but why is she getting mad at him though? It's my question. Like, why did he didn't do anything to deserve her anger? It's not like he drew the mural.
Tallest peak in the realms.
I'm
The
very
only other
confused
time I
by
was in
why her
Jotunheim.
anger is directed at him.
I was there with my father.
You know the Giant's fingers?
I spread my mom's ashes there. Feels like ages ago. Hey, just because of some dumb mural, your story doesn't have to be over.
I know. I mean, I have plans. It's just,
It's over as far as the Giants are concerned. So what's that make me?
wait, did you feel that?
Feel what?
Am I farting?
Help me with this.
No,
We
wait,
should
I wanna
get
go
back
up
to
here.
Yala.
No, maybe there's something.
feels off.
There's something that's up there. No, bitch, there's something up there. Eren. Eren Yeager. You think he likes Jaeger bombs? I feel like he might. It just gives me that vibe, you know?
Yala?
Angerboda, could you help?
For those who don't know, Yalla
Is she okay?
means let's go. You don't like Jaeger bombs? I love Jaeger bombs.
What's happening?
Speaking of balls, I only just learned about buzz balls. What the fuck is buzz balls?
It's okay. I can handle it. Go check on
Bismillah.
y'all.
I'll come around.
Wallahi, don't touch me. I didn't consent to this. طب يعني والصراحة يعني nobody asked for you to touch me. I turn wolf mode. How about this now? Haha, don't touch me, ho. I don't like Jaeger. I like Jaeger bombs. There isn't much alcohol that I don't like, to be honest. I just don't like vodka. I do love tequila. Don't touch me, bitch. What the fuck? Don't touch me. Seriously, I don't like it. My man's going X Games mode. What the fuck was that? Bismillah.
Hey, Kubota!
Rumple. I don't even know what Rumplemint's is.
Hello?
And these little drinkable
Y'all
balls.
okay?
Yeah, she was fine. Sorry about that.
That all 4 Faroh sprint is me. Or my man come home with pizza. Girl, please. Girl, please.
So, these marbles, they're all that remains of the giants?
Not all of them. Some are just
Jotunheim fruit.
But where could they be?
nowhere in the 9 realms, as far as anyone can tell.
What's this? Ew, it's ugly. Disgusting. I don't know what Rumplemints are. By the way, guys, I really don't drink much.
Past those rocks, there's a
To
sinkhole.
be very clear, I don't
That's where we're
drink
headed.
much at
We
all.
should-
But if I do, I usually like things that
Something
taste
on
good.
your mind?
Nobody believed this place was real. They're gonna be so surprised.
Loki,
Like, if I drink, it's probably like
you
once a
can't
month,
tell
if that.
anyone about Ironwood, not even your father. The biggest thing keeping this place safe is that Odin's
And when
not
I
looking.
drink, I don't really drink
My
much
wars can
either.
keep the wildlife
I'm not
at
just-
bay,
I'm
but
just
if
not a
Asgard
drinker.
never came looking,
I get it. I'm sorry. I won't tell anyone.
It's like a mint flavored ever. I don't even know. What the fuck is Everclear? Is that a water? That sounds like a water. Once a month is maybe wine here and there. I'm not a fan of wine. I'll max like drink some soju or something.
at noon, we have company.
Hello?
Whoa! Hi.
Is that a fennec fox?
Bye. Here's another one.
What the fuck?
So, is Irpa like the pack leader?
No, that'd be Note. She's one of the elders.
Only the truly self-lo. Get me on it.
Watch the sinkhole. come
Get me
up.
on it.
Lots of creatures in it. Used to get a lot of supplies for paint down there.
Yeah? We should run them out. Your paint supplies are important. If that's what you want to do.
Sure. Why not? Lina.
Habibi, don't you have to go home? Did he forget about his father? Like 190 proof? I don't know what 190 proof means. Remember, you're talking to the girl who doesn't know much about drinking. I worked at a bar and I literally asked them, guys, what's a malt beer?
Perfect.
I can't believe they hired me. Honestly,
Hey.
wallahi, why did they hire me? Who the fuck
Hey,
did they think they were?
Killed a flower?
He's trying to raise you up, girl. The fuck?
Thanks. But,
It means you're on the
keep it.
floor. Thank you.
anyway.
Hi, Joe. Welcome in, my love.
Those will give me the supplies I need.
Okay,
so
bro.
Keep it on.
95% alcohol? Ugh. Disgusted. Why would you drink that? Why would you want that, actually? Ooh, more. Anything else? I need to pee.
It's so dark down here.
Let me fix that.
That gave me bad vibes, girl.
Wretches! A nest of them!
They're everywhere down here.
If we can light more torches, we'll be able to see, clear them out, and grab what I need from them.
Let's do it.
Oh,
You
God.
leave, I'll light the torches.
Her. That was OG. This really is first to make this up.
I've got this.
Oh, shit.
How you doing, champ?
Sorry, wait, I can't read that. It's usually used for like making extracts and stuff. There's a warning on the bottle to not consume it by itself. Phenomenal. Fucking great. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Who the fuck drinks that? Get help. Get help. Yee. Your ass has gone back and it hasn't come back. Let me check. Let me check for me. Please God, please God, please God. Mine's come back. Thank you. Thank you and suffer alone. It couldn't be me if I did say so myself. Hi Yasmin Habibi, welcome in. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yes. Hello. Congrats on the ass. Thank you. I will thank you for congratulating me on my ass. Thank you. I like being congratulated on my fatty.
We can see again.
Hi.
Let me know if you see any more torches.
Yeah, I will, bitch. Shit. Shut up. Hey, yo. Hi, Kate, baby. Congratulations, Kate, for having a fatty.
I think we're close to another nest.
Girl, can you shut up, Agrabota? Joe, Sugma, you do not have... What the fuck is that?
This'll help. So much better.
The fuck? What's Scare the shit out of me. I don't feel safe.
I've got you.
I feel unsafe. I feel. You have a fatty IRL? Congratulations. Hi, Kate, baby. Can we? Thank you for the shout out for Kate. Can we get a big one? Hi, Kate, baby. I hope you're well, baby. Also, guys, I realize I call everybody baby. Sorry for that. Hi, Griffiths. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Sarah Wayne. I need the Max Wayne. I gotta wait 31 seconds. How dare you wait? God. God. Loser. I'm kidding. I love. I'm not baby. I'm baby. Yeah. I call everybody baby. I hope that's okay. Saws. If it makes you uncomfortable, let me know. Baby. I've been saying Max Wayne. I need the Max Wayne. I need the Max Wayne. Like, bro, what is wrong? Like, honestly. Dude, why is it so fucking dark here? There's gotta be something here. Right? Gamble all. Ooh, shit. Rip Triper. Dude, there's... What? You're scaring me, bro. Ellen's fucking hate me. Well... No ass, no money. R.I.P.
Get lost in here, right?
Yeah, we're fine. We got this.
She's so romance coded right now. Bismillah.
You should visit Midgard.
Piper's assless, penniless, and bitchless. So true.
Smells kind of funky.
R.I.P.
Like
Triper.
old water.
What the fuck does old water? Why are you being ageist about my water right
Still
now?
got a few more nests. Let's finish them off. Got it.
There we go. Keep an eye out. There could be.
Why is she giving me shit right now? I know there could be joggers. I know. I'm fighting them. Wallahi, I'm fighting them. Aha.
You were saying?
This'll help. I swear, this place didn't used to be so feisty.
Got it.
There we go. Be careful. These nests aren't just water. They can be up on higher paths.
Got it.
Yeah, Sarah's just out here for vengeance today. Sarah just decided to be fucking brutal.
Shouldn't be many left.
It was just kind of funny. Can I open my chesticle now, please? God. Me and my chesticles. Yeah. Me and the devil walking side by side. Okay. This way. Wee.
I have an idea. What if you came with me?
Where?
Midgard? The other realms?
Bro, this is not the time to be raising her up right now. Seriously.
That's a great idea. My animals need me, but it's sweet of you to offer.
Bismillah. في ايه يا حبيبي في ايه shit no I don't I feel like a mod. Stop. Do not bring that energy in here right now, please.
I think there's another one nearby. This'll help. Nicely done.
Huh?
I've got you.
So how do I kill them from here? The fuck? Habibi, don't fucking touch me. Who the fuck? I swear to God. Oh, okay.
I think that's all of them.
Yup.
Thanks.
Feeling any better?
A bit. Let's head back.
You're welcome. Not maybe getting sassy over these fucking like fake lizards. I was getting actually angry. I'm like, what the fuck? Don't touch me. Hi, Young. Welcome in. Okay. Sorry. My bad. Wallahi, my bad. My apologies. Wallahi, my apologies. Where did Leia go? What the fuck? Talon taken from a progamy. Alright, whatever the fuck. The boy.
I've got you.
Nice.
What's your, favorite color?
I'm supposed to pick one?
What the fuck?
Not if you have
How
more
the
than
god
one.
game. I'm fucking loving
I
it.
got this.
This game is amazing.
Wait, maybe green?
And so far has been one of my favorite games to ever play ever.
Ugh, but how can I forget about red? Ugh.
So what are we doing? Where does she want us to go is my question. Where does she want us to go? Oh, time to head back. Okay. How do I head back again? I forgot. I'm just gonna follow homegirl. It's so fun. Young, have you played the game? How long have you played the game? Have you finished the game? Oh my god, can we catch a break? Wallahi, can we catch a break?
We destroyed their nest.
We needed to.
Doesn't matter to her. I've got this.
Kill the hoe.
I got your back.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Leia, I can't see. Leia, I can't see, baby. I can't see, baby. I can't see. Wallahi, I can't see. It was too much. Oh, Shane, no. I hope the work thing was going okay. I'm voting you for Gamer of the... No, you're not. Are you serious? Guys, there's a bunch of game awards. If anybody wants to nominate me, feel free. Really? Really? Stop. Feet, that's so cute. Bismillah. Wallahi, don't touch me. Leia, I love you. I love you so much. Okay, I love you. I love you. But I'm gaming, baby. I'm gaming. Sorry. I'm also putting Rio. Stop. When it released and I've played it 100%. All of it? Really? Oh my god. Fuck yeah. Young. Oh, Young, I need your help then. Young, when I have issues, I'm gonna call you. I'm like, Young, help me out. I'm gonna die.
Not ready yet.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, am I right? Ooh, I got a bunch of shit.
Yeah. You?
Ready to
Leia, please! Leia, please! Enough. Wallahi, enough. Leia, please. Look, guys.
Let's head home.
Leia. Oh my god, he definitely was gay, wasn't he? Leia, don't touch my Smisky, no! Leave my Smisky alone. Leave my Smisky alone. She's gonna try and boop him again, isn't she? No, you're spelling it right, Fief. Oh, she's not? Oh my god, good girl. Leia, please, wallahi, please don't come here. Baby, I love you, but wallahi, please don't come here. Oh, now she's sitting behind my PC. I know, right? She's so cute. Leia, stop it. No, Leia. Off. Baby. Ah! Baby. She won't chill, bro. She won't. She's sitting. What the fuck? When did I drop this thing behind? I dropped the cap. Where did that go? When did that happen? The fuck? Ugh, not me raw dogging my mic right now. It's on my chair. You're right. You are correct. Okay, I'm gonna get Leia out of here, bro. Leia? Don't escape from me. I swear to God. Leia. Leia. Baby, you can't go behind PC. Bad for PC. Look at the baby. Hi, Jules. Look. Isn't she cute? Oh my god. God help me, bro. For this cat will kill me. Yuck, they redeeming a coin. Okay. Thank you. Your desk curve? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Jules, this is my family house. I hate this desk is the worst thing ever for streaming. Fucking awful. Especially in the tight area that I'm in. Fucking terrible. Fucking terrible, actually. Genuinely. Like, trust me. Not good. Not good. Her? Whole office.
No,
it's so bad for
my
streaming.
destiny would
In
change.
this tiny, like the tiny
Still
space
just
of this
me?
area. No.
Is it like that for you?
You're always still going to be you, Loki. It's about coming to terms.
Also, can we get a shout out for Jules? Hi, Jules. I love you.
Come to terms with it?
I thought so.
I'm just waiting for
Back
something
where
to come
we
up.
Nah, head around the sinkhole. It'll be quicker.
Around the sinkhole? Okay. Tab where? Oh, over here? No? Okay. Tab where? Habibi, tab فين Habibi? Here? Oh, okay.
Oh, I meant to ask you. Your mother had visions.
Thank you, Bashar, for
Can all
juice.
giants tell the future?
Some. In dreams.
Hey, yeah. I dreamt of Thor a while ago.
Thor.
Came true, too. He showed up at my house.
He did? Sounds kind of like a nightmare.
Yeah, kinda.
Look, you're saying hi to Jules, right? But I was saying hi to Jules. I wasn't saying hi, Jules. I wasn't saying her name. I was saying hi to Jules. Fun fact. Hi, Jules. I would never call Jules hi, Jules. I don't know. I've just been calling Jules my entire time, like the entire time I've known her. So it doesn't feel right to call her hi, Jules. Don't be sorry, please. My name is Faroh. For fuck's sake. People keep telling me, I don't know how to spell your name. Is it Farah or Faroh? I'm like, no, that's my username and my name. Like,
Yeah.
feel free to call me by my name, but that's my username. Oh my god, no. I just wish the username Faroh was available. But no, of course not. Why would it be? There's a fucking French partnered streamer with the fucking username Farah. God fucking damn it. And I can't remember, but I think she was doing like an anti-vax stream or something. Or I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a pro-vax. I'm not spreading anything. I can't remember. I couldn't translate it well. I was like struggling to understand what the fuck she was saying.
Oh, wow.
Jules was taken and I cried. I cried over Farah, bro. I was like, even if I hit partner,
know
what
things
am I
have
getting?
been weird. In a lot of ways. But I'm glad you came here.
Me too.
I feel first name, but I don't know. Whatever you want, Jules. Like, honestly, whatever you want. This is pretty... It's gorgeous, right? It's fucking gorgeous. This game is amazing because it's literally 4K. Like, it's... And the PS5 can do 4K, which is so beautiful. I just wish my monitors were 4K.
Right?
When?
If you have 4K monitors, you can see it.
After things calm down.
As in...
I'll go for Faroh fan. Thank you.
Sure.
I'll never forget...
I'll be busy
Wait,
then.
gotta go back. I'll never forget that when my first TwitchCon... it was just when I had just changed my username to Faroh and not Spirit Faroh, right? Somebody apparently was walking past me and Brandon had heard them, but I was busy doing something. And Brandon was like, Farah, they just said, isn't that Spirit Faroh? I'm like, what? I was like, what? That's so cool. I'm like, but alas, I am no longer Spirit Farah. And that's when I started doubting. I'm like, should I have even done a rebrand? Did I mess up? Did I fuck up? Come
on, girl. You can make it.
What's up here?
A shortcut.
Good girl.
Thank you, Jules. I like my username now, to be fair. Spirit Faroh was nice and all, but it just wasn't, it's too soft for me. I'm not, like, I'm soft. I'm soft in heart, but I'm not soft in spirit.
I meant what I said before.
Thank you.
You know? About your paintings? They're really good.
I am in spirit.
Trying to cheer me up?
Yeah. Is it working?
Ask me again and...
What?
About damn time.
What?
What the?
Okay, do you know what my first username was? I don't think you were here since my first username.
Late to wine now.
Barely anybody was.
Now.
Who just hurt the little wolfie pie? Hurt the... Oh.
Damn it.
Why
Who
would you
was
hurt
that?
an animal? What the fuck?
Kryla. She...
Why would you hurt an animal? You? Hi, baby. I'm Farah G. Correct. That was my old username. My first username ever.
What's wrong with it?
Let's fucking go, guys.
I can't
I am Farah G. Her hair is dope. She's fucking beautiful. She's fucking stunning.
Carla whispered its soul away.
What? The snake pins are fire, right? 2 years, 6 months, and 20 days. Blech. Blech. Is it Mewtwo? Yes, guys, go follow Mew's shop. Please. Go buy Mew's shit. Please. Mew makes beautiful, beautiful little animals. Okay? Little crochet animals. Go buy them. Thank you. I have my own. Actually, you see this? You see the star on my mic? That's something Mew made. Mew made this for me, and I love it. Bitch, I'm sitting in class and swing. Do it. 2 years, 2 months. Oh my god, guys, have I been streaming that long? Am I fucking old? Am I fucking old?
What are you gonna do?
Wallahi, listen, can we make it 1 year? It doesn't count because I was on and off for 1 year. Guys, can we accept that last year doesn't count? Guys, can we accept that last year doesn't count? I barely streamed. Guys, I literally barely streamed last year. Okay? I barely streamed. I wasn't feeling good. I didn't stream. Okay? Can we just accept that that doesn't count? Please? Just for me. Thank you.
Raid enough wolves this winter.
Follow me.
Thank you. No, it doesn't count. Latte. Habibi, we're not counting it. Shh. 2 years, 30 days. Oh my god. Geriatric fans. No! Last year doesn't count.
Watch out. These creatures are fast.
I got that.
Are they fast? Are they fast? Or are they bitches?
I've got you.
Because I'm the fucking Flash. What the fuck? Why are there so many? The fuck? Just kill them all. The fuck? Guys, just look. That literally. This is what I assume my X-ray looks like with my with my acid reflux. I assume this is what I look like to medical professionals. Tortimer. You whippersnappers. Wow, almost 11 months. I had. Oh. I literally cry. You guys have been here for so long. It just makes me so emo that you guys even want to be here. No, I'm not gonna cry right now. I'm playing God of War.
I got your back.
I can't believe people want to watch me. That's fucking weird. Y'all are weird for that. Y'all are freaks. Love you.
If we run into Gryla, please don't do anything drastic.
Bitch, shut up right now. Okay, I'm sorry for calling you bitch. You're beautiful.
What?
But still.
It wasn't always like this.
What's this?
When she learned my father wouldn't do anything to avert his
Now I'm old and gray and have a humpback. Spare me. Wait, I just saw something. Ski up, skip it up. Kidding. Wallahi, how the fuck did I miss that? No, seriously, because how? Embarrassing.
Looks like we'll need to find a way through.
Habibi, I already did it.
Anything on the other side?
Looking.
Habibi, I already did it. Are you stupid? Or... It's always a vibe. No, you're a vibe. No, you're a vibe. Why does she run like that? She runs so aggressively. Hey there. Mr. Shark Boy over here. Shit. I'm gonna die. I died. Help. Help. Help me. Help me, please.
Little bit of this, little bit of that.
Khiba. Okay, I didn't see that, okay?
Okay, ready. Hold on.
بسم الله. Y'all like death or?
Did a lot of giants live
I
here
did it.
over time?
You want to know about your mother?
Oh, never mind. Haha.
This entire life
Haha.
before she had me.
Sugma. Never doubted.
I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
anything about it.
Wallah, you're a liar.
Sorry.
Wallah, you're a liar.
Your mother left the path of the
Sugma nuts. How about that, huh? Sugma nuts. Liar. Inta كذاب. كذاب. Kadhib means liar in Arabic. Guys, today's Arabic. Guys, should we do a thing where it's like today's Arabic word and I teach you guys Arabic words? Should I teach you Arabic words? Today's Arabic word is kadhib. It means liar.
No lights. She may still be
Kadhib. Kadhib.
We have to be quick.
Kadhib equals liar. You are liar. You're welcome. Kadhib.
There's another
Say it with me.
way in.
Kadhib.
We'll have to figure out how to get to it.
Liar. Liar. Can I post that? Do you want me to write it in Arabic? Because I don't have my... this doesn't have Arabic letters, this keyboard. I'm gonna have to go get an Arabic keyboard. Arabic keyboard. Okay, here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Where's the kef? Where's the kef? Kef. You bitches kathib. So true. Here you go. Kadhib. Here, this is how you write in Arabic. Kadhib. You're welcome. Ay khidma. Anytime, just for you. I'm here to help. You're welcome. Guys, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of doing an RP, like a GTA RP character. But like, and I make it like an Arabic, like an Egyptian fob. Essentially. Like a fresh off the boat Egyptian girl. Like essentially me, but with a very heavy Egyptian accent. I think it'd be funny as fuck. Leia, please, wallahi, I don't have time for this. Leia, حبيبة قلبي, not now. She's so cute, it kills me. Right? It would be funny, right? If we did that, that'd be cute. I think. What is this? What are we doing? The fuck is going on? What is this? Did I cut those? No, what the fuck is this? طب يعني You kadhib shits. Do it. Dare you. You're welcome. The Arabic word for the day today is kadhib. You're welcome.
Can you see another way to get me up there?
The fuck do you mean? Leia's gonna sit on the keyboard? Leia, what is with you when sitting on the keyboard? A shit? طيب. Okay. Great. She is derailing stream. Help. Oh god, she's clicking on the stream deck. Oh my god. Guys, help. Help. She is clicking on the stream deck now. The stream has now become Leia. Would you like to see Leia? Oh, God help me. يا حبيبي. Enough يا حبيبي. في ايه؟ في ايه؟ Wait, it's a little cloudy. Leia? Look at her tail just vibing. Look at her tail. She's just living her life right now, bro. Wallahi, she's just living her life. Can I game wala? Can I play my games or what? Can I play my games or what, huh? What is she doing? What is she doing? Help. What is she doing? I'm very confused and struggling here. You guys are so jealous of me touching her, aren't you? Ha ha ha. You want to see her paws? Look at her paws! Look at them! Look at them! Boop. Boop. Leia, can we stop now? Can we say goodbye now? I paused it there so this can be our picture for today. Leia, baby. Okay, let go of the keyboard, Leia. Let go. Baby, let go. Let go. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Jail time. Jail. Did you just lem? Did you guys hear that? Did you hear them lem? Did you hear that? Do you have anything you'd like to say? Guys, honestly, this is the best stream ever. I just get to hold her. She committed a felony. Stop. Do you have anything to say? Ah! Somebody clip that right now. Clip that right now. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Clip that. Clip that right now. Clip that right now. Hi, Lenny. That cute meow. God help me. God help me. That meow is so cute. My God, I can't control myself these days. Fuck. Fuck. I'm calm. I'm collected. I'm calm and I'm collected. I'm fine. I'm fine. That meow was the end of it all for me. Ooh, can I undo this? طب يعني how do I get you here طيب? Ah! Didn't she say we wanted to sneak here? طب يعني how the fuck are, how is this sneaking?
Hang on. I'll create a way up for you.
So, Gryla.
Tiniest, thank you.
Animal souls for anyway.
Leia, please enough.
From their lives. Finally feel free. The wind in their fur as they run.
Downstairs.
Only worries being what to hunt and where to sleep.
Please, Habibi, please.
It's not real.
Leia speaks. Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh my God, guys, thank you. 3 clips. This is the best day of my life. It's like that meme. طب open. طب يعني knock it down the fuck. Oh, no worries, young. No, don't worry. I was talking to her. I was talking to this Agrabota. Leia, please. Wallahi, please. Stay there. Enough. Lay down. Look at this. And begs for attention. It's too much. Wallahi, I'm gaming. I don't have Brandon to come distract her right now. So it's a little bit of a struggle. The cutest beans. The cutest beans. Just being. Oh my god. You guys don't mind if I cuddle her like this in the mirror? Yeah, hear that, Brain? It's your fault. Facts. Facts. It's always Brayden's fault. I will always find a way to blame Brayden.
Ryla's still out.
Wow, the things are so big. Where's the wolf?
He proposed anyway.
Door to
He
the
loves
cellar
me.
over here. She might keep the animals down there.
Leia, can we leave the PlayStation 5 alone?
The key's already in the lock. Just gotta turn it.
Loki,
Hey, we know my future, and it doesn't involve us getting killed by your grandma.
not how it works.
If she's her grandma, why does she hate you?
Almost. Got it.
I was like, hey, little boy, stop. No, her things are so... Because he's a giant and she's a giant. But then how the fuck are they so small? You can't just ask people why they're small, Faroh. So true. Guys, apparently the new Mean Girls movie is shit, and I'm really upset about that because, like, I've already booked tickets to see it. So, like, now what? I'm very upset by that fact.
I think I can hear something breathing near the back of the cellar.
Me too. I'm not hearing their voice.
No, I didn't say that. I already bought tickets to it, yeah. Bessie, don't take... There's an actual Mean Girls movie. I heard it was originally a musical, but somebody told me that the movie was shit, and I was like really upset about that. I was like, what the fuck? But I already bought tickets to it. I haven't seen it yet, guys. I haven't seen it. Making that very... I have not seen the movie. Huh?
We need to find a way back there.
Tab shokran. Thank you. I know. Shit. Oh. How? Okay. The fuck?
That's it.
Thanks. Money! Guys, we're so rich in this game, by the way. I've got 14k. I'm barely halfway in the game. How the fuck do I have 14k? It's because I'm scrimmaging every single vase. Vegeta, hi! Welcome in. I'm so sorry that you're rating it.
Just traded with 4 viewers.
I'm just showing my cat right now. Leia. Look, this is her belly. It's very pink. It's very white and adorable. This is my cat with my PS5. She just sit here. She just sit. But welcome in, Vegeta. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Welcome in, readers. Hi, I'm Farah. I'm a full-time content creator, streamer, dipshit. Please, please, please. This is a very raid and run friendly stream. Do not feel the need to stay. Do not feel the need to, like, please go rest first and foremost. Please, please, please. But welcome in. I hope you guys are well. Wait, let me do this. Let me do this. I'm going to put my thing here so you guys can just keep seeing Leia. What are your thoughts on that? Don't forget Kazab. So true. This is Leia. She is my baby. I love her. But yeah, welcome in, raiders. If you guys need to raid and run, please feel free to do so. I'll be here all week. Ahaha. But yeah, welcome in. I'll put Leia at the top here so you can enjoy Leia. Welcome in. I hope your stream was well. Everyday stream thing. Okay. Well.
I can't feel anything. Just like the other one.
She took its soul.
Sorry.
There's not much more we can do.
God of War is awesome. I'm loving it so far. Are you playing God of War?
Hold this.
What are you?
You didn't have a least favorite giant, did you?
What?
You played it? Oh! Have you finished it yet?
This one.
No. You can't.
Your mother said I'd know what to do with these.
Yes, eventually.
I just gave them to you.
I know. But they can't hide forever.
Oh my god, well, I hope you enjoyed it then.
And we can't just leave it here to die.
Are you sure?
No.
Per, we love an honest king.
I actually don't know how to do this part.
Just put it in its mouth or some shit.
Okay. Together, then? Vecchia.
Vecchia.
Sorry, the cat stream is struggling a little bit. She keeps moving. My apologies. I wish it was like auto tracking. That'd be sick. Jesus. He put the giant soul in a giant's neck. Thank you so much. Please, please do. Please go sleep. Go
That's
rest,
it?
please.
Where's it going? That even work?
I don't know. Here.
Oh, he's too scared to do the
But you're
rest.
giving up already? They're your
It's
responsibility.
not that. It's not. I just
Then what?
think they're better off with you.
It could be his responsibility to give it to her. What's that? That's a good thought.
Loki. Are you certain?
There, suddenly she has purpose again.
Call me Atreus.
Aw. He's rejecting the Loki. He's rejecting the Loki narrative. That's quite sad. There you go, Leia. You
Let's
found a
get back.
spot that works for
Head up
both
those
of
stairs
us.
again.
I'm sorry. I just
We'll have to get out the same way we came in. She can't know we were here.
and we better put that
Something
cup back
tells me
when we
she'll
get
find
to
out
it.
where we are. Jesus Christ, her stairs are wild.
We have to close the door.
I've got it.
Y'all are loud as shit, dude. Y'all can't be this loud if you want to be like...
Enough.
Okay, she's
whining.
here. Great.
Won't even remember in a moment.
Why is she taking away their souls? Fuck, 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 fuck.
We're just going to kill him.
No, because we are going to stop her. I've avoided this for too long. She's not well.
Oh, so she's not doing well mentally?
You should be thanking me. What good does a soul do anybody?
Why is she stealing the souls?
Just a vessel for pain. I damn near envy you.
Astaghfirullah. That's so dark.
The cauldron.
Who are you to make that
Without it, she
judgment?
frees the souls. I'll distract her. You free the wolf. Then we break the cauldron.
You sure?
I have a bad feeling.
No. But we can't hide forever. Go.
Wait, let me just take away my hard drive from Leia. Leia, like, I don't want fur in it, just in case, baby. With all due respect, Leia, okay, I love you so much. I love you. Please go on the bed. Please go over there. Thanks. Thanks, babes. Thanks. Yep, let's just sit on the bed. How about that? Awesome. All right, back. We're back. We're back from the scheduled cat intermission.
I told you.
Thank God.
Never to come back here.
That's right, look at me!
So many things I've forgotten. And you refuse to be one of them.
It doesn't have to be this way. If Ragnarok is coming, wouldn't you rather face it together?
What did destiny ever do for anybody? Was it your mom's destiny to go so young? Was it your father's destiny to
Why is she taking it out on the kid? The fuck?
I won't give up on you.
Bismillah.
draw the prey?
Loki!
Loki?
Let him go!
Grandma, why are you such a fucking bitch? Listen, I've heard of family problems, but this takes a new cake.
Get out of my house!
Through here, follow me. This way.
Why is she so fucking angry?
Run!
Up this way. There's a way back to our kitchen.
Where are you?
You sure you want to go back there?
I told you, we have to.
I can hear you.
We still have to go back and remove her cauldron? You can't remove souls anymore, right? We're like little rats.
Gotta destroy that cauldron. Can you swing across?
Where'd you go? Hmm? You
I'm
hiding?
just west.
Should have stayed. Pay.
Bismillah. Bismillah. Don't touch me, bitch.
Champion of the Jotnar, here in my humble home. Having a bit of fun before your father croaks, eh? Don't talk about my father!
Yeah, literally. Don't talk about daddy. Hi, welcome in. Thank you for the follow.
You'll do well as Odin's stable boy. Shut up! I'm sure he'll make such a fine pop, you'll forget all about your old one. Shut up! Soul Team.
Oh, now's your chance! Get to that cauldron!
Why are you even here? No! Get away!
Why does she want that cauldron so dab?
Gotta get off the floor.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Pitiful giants! The both of you!
There's a candle over there! Maybe she'll get stunned if I hit it!
Soul Team. I'm ashamed we're even related, girl!
You don't mean that!
Please,
He's
God.
stunned! Now hit the cauldron!
You won't destroy it! Get away from me!
Just get good, loser.
Hey, Gravona, watch out! Get off the counter!
Bismillah. Khayba.
Shoot those before they hit you! It should dispel her magic!
Why are you so bent on hurting me like this, girl? I've done
If you
nothing.
can get her closer to a candle, we can stun her!
Stupid bitch.
What did I ever do to you? Yeah. This is all I've got.
If I hit those candles at the right time, it could stun her!
I'm trying to climb up, but I'm struggling so hard right now.
She's stunned, Atreus!
Shoot her in the ass. I was thinking about it. Bismillah. I don't have a resurrection stone anymore. Fuck, fuck, fuck. I'm not feeling good vibes right now, guys.
You can get her closer to a
Yeah, I
candle.
will, bro.
Stun her.
Bismillah. Come here, bitch. Bismillah, bismillah. I'm actually shitting my pants right now. The vibes coming from her are rancid. Don't you say?
Atreus, I need her closer to a candle for this to work.
Habibi! You don't think I'm fucking trying? My god, Agriberta, you're actually starting to piss me off. Oh, I gotta be closer to that fucking candle. Come here, you fucking toad.
She's stunned, Atreus.
I need health. What the fuck? Are you just talking about my roommate said, damn, I feel for and I'm cut. Oh, please. Shane, tell your roommate they rock. And thank you for understanding my pain right now, bro. Agriberta's grandma sucks ass. Do I speak Arabic? I do. السلام عليكم. مش بتكلم عربي بس عشان المودز بس بتكلم عربي وهفهم بس يا ريت ما تتكلموش عربي. Thank you. They send back a salute. 07 soldier. Yeah, what she said.
Did you know?
Stopped you from being a raging bitch, Grandma. Duh.
I should have thrown you to the wolves right after I pulled you out of your mother. Get
Okay,
out!
bitch.
Just get out!
No. Let's go.
Is trying. What's it called when you kill a grandparent? I know there's a word for killing your mom or your dad, but I don't know. I forgot what it was called. Also, what's it called?
Done something here, granddaughter. You are nothing.
Matricide and patricide.
No one will ever
So this is
remember
grand
you.
matricide.
Not even Loki.
Oh, so this is what she's afraid of. She's afraid of being forgotten.
Chapter in his story.
Something tells me she'll be his wife.
He'll be too busy mourning his father.
Okay, she's actually kind of a raging bitch,
I
actually.
see you again. You'll wish you died with your parents.
Is it because she's a giant ninja?
You sure it's alright to leave her here? What if she comes out looking for...
She used to leave me food.
What?
Anita Maxwin.
She'd say she didn't care about me.
Ahmed, thank you for the follow.
Anita Maxwin.
Sometimes I'd wake up and I'd see a loaf of bread sitting next to the fire.
Oh, so she left her food, so she did the bare minimum and we're being thankful for that?
Just the way she always used to.
Oh, so we're thankful for the bare minimum? Masra, I'm from Egypt.
She's not a monster, you know?
Oh, Madonia.
She's lost.
Really? Because she seems lost in the sauce to the point that she should like be dead to you personally, just for me. I can't believe we're praising her for the bare minimum of feeding you. Shocker. Don't accept the bare minimum from anybody, bro. Don't ever. Wow, my family member took the duty of feeding me as a fucking minor. Wow, shocker. I know we were saying thank you for this behavior.
Gone longer than you think.
Poor Agrabota, man. Poor her. I feel so bad for her. Oh my god. Her grandma sucks. Her grandma fucking sucks.
We'll be back once we reach the other side of this path.
Well then.
Habibi. Poor girl.
2 out of 3.
Atreus.
Race me. Come on.
I see what you're doing.
You know you want a rematch after last time.
I appreciate. Last time I beat you.
I'm pretty sure it was a tie.
Pretty sure it wasn't.
Oh, he's trying to distract her. Guys, also we are 9 followers away from hitting 6.4k.
So prove me wrong.
So I want you to be aware of that.
1, 2, 3, go.
Fine.
You coming or what?
No, I want the Fennec Fox.
Fox? Oh no, you don't.
Oh yeah, we turn into a wolf.
Turn here. I have absolutely no idea what you're saying.
This field
Oh yeah, he's
always
Loki.
smells so amazing.
He changes.
I assume your nose is much better like this. Don't get too distracted. You really gonna let me beat you again? Those paws can only carry you so far. Whoa! Whoa! Asa, faster! We got him now. Whoa!
You're literally cheating.
No, you don't. Almost there. Whoops!
That was literally cheating.
Work for it.
Work for it. You rode a magic fox the whole way.
It's a Fennec
Loki.
Fox.
Atreus. Thank you.
I'm sorry she was so hard on you.
Me too. Well, I suppose you're
Same
ready to get home
here.
now.
You're
I'll
so
meet you by the
cute.
shrine when you're ready.
Do I have to leave?
Not if you don't want to. Your prophecy. You still don't believe it, do you?
I can't. I think I'm being stupid.
Why
I
is that
think-
stupid?
You care for your dad so much you can't conceive of a world where you don't get hurt. Come here. I need to show you something.
Laufey? My mother's?
I wish it weren't empty, but
That's her mom's ball?
I know how it feels
That's really sad.
to lose a parent, to lose both.
Angerboda, with all due respect, we haven't lost our dad.
On, but your father. You've still got time to say goodbye.
Why are you so hellbent on making us not change this?
And I
Our
appreciate
content.
it.
So true.
But
They're so romantic.
I don't know. We've got to be more than a bunch of stories with our endings already written.
Purr.
What happens to you now?
I don't know.
She doesn't know what her life purpose
Like
is
I
anymore.
said, once you're gone, my part in this is over. So, feel free to stay.
There's an ad break right now. This is so romantic. Oh, thank you for naming a coin.
What are you gonna do?
No idea. But I can't just sit back and let my dad die.
Fair. Very fair.
I gotta get back.
I mean, if I was him, I definitely wouldn't be able to just let it happen either. Like, I'm sorry, but like that's just not an option. In no way is that even a possibility.
Stars here are different.
No. You just are.
Oh, romantic. She's the Rizzler.
I am gonna see you again.
Sure. Okay, now. Close your eyes. And hold that tight. You don't want to lose it. Home. Think of it. Repeat it.
Home.
But is he like only here mentally or is he here physically? And thank you for giving me a coin. Just a reminder, guys, that the person with the highest amount of coins by the end of the year will most likely get a Switch. Per. And so it is foretold.
Oh no.
Oh, we're in our OG home. Oh, fuck. He should have said, oh, fuck. Now what? Giba.
Other home.
Sindri's home.
Shit!
Oh, God. Not the Ice Walkers. Keep it up. Die, you dirty hoe. Die. Very purr.
Gotta get back to Sindri's and figure out how to save Father. And I gotta keep Ironwood and Angrboda a secret somehow.
So why do I have to keep it a secret? Why can't I just tell him? Like, why can't I tell Kratos? Like, what's the problem?
What were you thinking?
I wanted to visit Fenrir.
For 2 days.
I...
Do not lie to me again! Why did you come here? Alone? Do you seek death?
No more than you.
Then why? Why?
He's worried about you, bro.
Not tell me.
Do I have games on my phone? I do have games on my phone.
Walk this path with you.
How you doing, baby?
Follow your every whim.
But you don't believe in any of it.
And still, I follow. Because all that matters is that you are safe.
But that's not all that matters. Who's keeping you safe?
I do not need you to protect me.
You sure about that?
What do you know?
I can't talk about it. but I just need you to trust me. You kept secrets, but I trust
Some work,
you.
how's your day? Oh, I'm glad your work is
Why
doing
not?
well for uni.
You hid things. Mother hid things. You had good
But I'm
reasons,
getting
so do
emotionally sad
I.
about this movie
Why
or
can't
this
you
show
just-
right now. Sorry, this game. Fuck. Now me saying movie or like Kratos Armor kind of. I know. I picked it. Hehehe. They get flame toes. Yeah, I said it. Y'all just need to die. Have you thought about that? Stop, don't touch me. Aha. Why are you touching me? Claudia, welcome in. I break at the shield. Ragnarok, isn't it awesome? Have you played the game before, Claudia? Get over here. I'm like Scorpion. Is that a Valkyrie?
Remember us? Not sure this is a Valkyrie we met last. How do you know? She's corporeal, but different. Looks like the bastard's finally done it. We don't want to fight
Can you not touch me? I'm just trying to get some health. Hi, Horsey baby, welcome in. Bro, does she look like she wants to talk anything out, my guy? Get fucked. Shit. I'm gonna die.
Can we beat her? We have beaten a Valkyrie before.
I actually have not. Where'd she go? Oh, you stupid bitch. I like how he's beating gods, but I've literally...
She's relentless. Aye, say that again.
Why is she mad at me? What did I do to you, sexy mommy? With all due respect, what did I do to you? I'm gonna die.
Fuck! Why are you doing this? This is a fine mess.
I'm not mad, you're mad. I'm not mad, you're mad. Are you playing on PlayStation? I am. PlayStation. I'm playing on PlayStation.
How do you know? She's corporeal, but different. Looks like the bastard's finally done it. We don't want to fight you.
I like playing with my axe. It's only... This one is. Yeah, Ragnarok is only on PlayStation. The normal 2018 one is on PC also. Let's talk nothing out. Fuck this bitch. Fuck you, Toad. Sexy ass bitch, but she wants to fight me.
We freed your sister.
Apparently, bitch is confused. It's much easier to do like tight, close combat with the axe than with the flames. I could take her. I could take her in bed personally.
She's not messing about, is she?
No.
Father, are you okay?
Focus on the enemy, not me.
Yes, sir. That was close.
Come here, you stupid toad. Thor's hammer.
Why won't you say anything?
She's a woman of few words. Fuck. Yeah, we really aren't the bad guys here, you fucking witch.
Poison! Don't touch it!
Yeah, I won't, bro. I'm not stupid. Stupid bitch.
What do we do to you?
Well, apparently we're just too sexy for her to fucking deal with us. Don't poison me, you fucking slag. Okay, but like, why is she so like fucking pissy? Like, I don't. It's Freya. Was Freya a Valkyrie? I mean, we did kill her son, so. But hi, Orzo, I hope you're well. And Claudia, I hope you're well too. Hi. Sorry for this. Okay, how come he chooses bear mode today? Why isn't it fox mode today?
She was our friend.
What now? Why is she suddenly upset about it? Now she suddenly has an issue with killing us?
Atreus.
Now she knows he's Loki? What the fuck? No, it's not your fault. What the hell? It's nobody's fault. Please. Homegirl just wanted to fight me because I killed her son. God, get over it. He was an asshole.
For the moment, you're of more use to me. Alive.
My God, can you believe she's not over me killing her son? God, couldn't be me.
Atreus. Home.
It's a yoke.
Oh, really?
You will tell the truth when I return. Now I must set things right.
Hi, Sindri. Hi, Brock. So weird of her, I know, right?
Your Majesty.
God, some people just can't let things go.
To see you again.
Rodnifer. Do not let him out of your sight.
You heard him, Sunshine. Come on, get a move on.
Bothered much? I know, so embarrassing. Dude, they should just fucking fuck. They should just fuck.
I refuse to remain bound to this realm.
Guys, just fuck.
We travel to
I refuse to remain bound to this realm, but I'll be bound to your dick.
Guess it's just us then.
I always think of the brother in the show The Bear when he's like, the fuck did I I love that. Orzu, we were just talking about the bear. I love the bear. I thought the same thing. Dude, they should just fuck. I'm wearing your hoodie. Wee wee. Wee wee. Stop, I cry. Wee wee. I was wearing it earlier this morning too.
I crafted a protection.
But then I got it dirty, so I was like, fuck.
Pulled out of the realm. It should hold until I find what I need.
And my parents are very intense about only doing laundry after 7 p.m. or on the weekends because electricity and water rates or hydroelectric rates are cheaper here in Ontario during those times. So I'm like, fuck. And I forgot to fucking dry my clothes yesterday night. So now I'm like, I've got like fucking wet clothes right now in the fucking washer. Which is like, it's gonna smell like ass. It's gonna smell like ass.
That's why I still might kill you.
I am comfy and in your Be Real. Oh my God, stop. I haven't used Be Real in a hot minute. I keep like forgetting. Not Be Real. Oh my God. I would show you guys, but I will never do that because she doesn't like to do that. You look so cute. Mew, you're so beautiful. You're so fucking beautiful. I just want you to know that. You're so beautiful. Holy shit. People still use Be Real. Yes. Don't act like I'm a fucking senior citizen for doing that, please. Sindri, Brock? Look at the way they run. It's so fun.
Ain't going nowhere without
My
this.
bad, miss. Mm-hmm. Why are you so old? Triper, shut the fuck up. You're older than me. I'm not even old. I'm only 27. 27 isn't old, right? I'm not old. Young, are you calling me old?
And what is it you expect?
You're always editing. Perry, I am literally always editing. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm like always editing.
Your Highness. Clearly
Young,
you've
are you
been
saying
quite
damn as in I'm
capable of breaking
old?
Odin's curses on your own.
The other curses grew weak from Thimble.
Guys, if you had to look at me and guess my age, what age would you say? Because every time I still get ID'd for alcohol.
This one is held strong.
So all that trying to kill
And all your Be Reals. Yeah, because I edit from my bed.
way of asking for help?
All humans die young. No.
You to come along.
It's 'cause you did.
How am I not burning out from that? It's because I'm watching shows as I do it, so I'm actually just having fun.
We're back on the map.
I never do such a thing.
Lending you mokes a hand's gonna end me up where I'm going.
Depends. Is it standard? Both. Ultra fluffy Farah and standard Farah. How old am I?
And what makes you think that?
'Cause last I heard tell, she
Y'all
was
haven't seen No Makeup Farah though.
with brother.
No Makeup Farah, I will admit, does look pretty young.
Is not a part of this.
Well, my hunch says otherwise. Scrote too.
Is he saying scrotum? You think me being fluffy, like being cute, makes me seem older?
I can feel the pull of the
Really?
binding curse. It
27
sources
is my
further
guess.
in.
Correct.
Follow me.
Muggier than a mooseful hind shit pit out.
Maybe 23-ish?
I'm nearly as fit.
See, you think so, Orzu, but I get ID'd every time. Without fail. When I go to a restaurant and order alcohol, they ask for my ID too. Like, even at a restaurant, I'm not safe. Like, my college advice... Okay, Kate, that is so fair because you give me baby vibes. Like, genuinely,
Suppose
baby.
Winter's to blame.
How do I feel about that? I feel okay about it. Like, I don't really mind. But I do second guess people who approach me at a bar now because I'm like, so if I look young, that means you're a
Damn well
you're a
Kratos
pedo.
isn't the true cause of your suffering.
All I'm saying. It means you're a pedo. And I don't feel safe around you. Oh, that was close too. They're supposed to ID 25 and under. Yeah. But people in Canada, the age of consent, sorry, the age for alcohol is 19. 18, especially without makeup. You do look very young. Perry, you also look very fucking young. That was close. Be real. Hi, Chesney. Give me a shout out for Chesney. Chesney, I'm doing the dishes right now. I am on Ontario. So am I. Unfortunately. Fuck. It's 18 in Quebec and Alberta, correct. Shane, are you Canadian? Shane, are you fucking Canadian? Fuck! Too late. Fuck, too early. Shit! Oh, are you really? Like Ontario? Oh, per. Of 2 hours. Oh my god, Slay. Your mother. Your mother. I hate this fucking bird.
That's a fair few birds you've hunted. I wonder if it might be worth visiting the Raven Tree.
thanks, Jasmine. Thank you.
Come
That
on,
was so
let's
aggravating.
find a way forward.
Don't tell me what to do, ho.
That's gonna need more magic than we got on us.
Big game. Why you have to be mad?
Because it's anger inducing. Huh? Why you have to be mad? I'm mad, huh? God.
Oh no. Something's wrong. My spell, I can feel it slipping.
Guys, can I tell you what our new emotes are going to be? Our animated emotes? Can I tell you what they are at least? I won't show you what they are, but can I tell you what they are? If you're here, you're here. If you're not, I'm never going to tell you again. Until they're here, I guess. Can I tell you what they are, please? Can I please tell you what they are? Please. Spoiler. Yes, can I give you a spoiler, please? Okay? There's a few, okay? 1, there's going to be a laughing emote. It's going to be funny. Hee hee ha ha. Okay? Number 2, it's going to be a nerd emote. It's like a... These are all animated. The ones that I'm talking about, they're animated, okay? And then the other one is going to be like the eyes one where they're like ogling. They're going to be like... And then the other one is a jam, like a jam. Okay? Another one is a nodders. Like a nodders. No, not really like... No, not like that, Draco. Like this. Like it'll bring in finger... Like that. Okay? A 6 is going to be like a card smash. Do I make my own emotes? Absolutely not. I am talentless. 7 is a high. Yeah, like that, Draco. But it's going to be animated. Everything's going to be animated. Number 8 is going to be like an aware. Like aware. Like it's going to get real dark. Every time you do weeb shit, yes. And then a strong emote. Like a strong. So I ordered 9 emotes. 9 animated emotes.
You don't understand. I'll be torn.
Actually, Draco, that's not true. I actually paint and draw pretty okay. I'm just joking.
Seems I don't have much choice.
I have to leave. Okay, no worries. Bye, Ahmed. You're gonna have 9 new animated emotes, gamers.
Come on then.
They're gonna all be animated.
Around Odin's curse this whole time.
No. I discovered it once you unlocked realm travel.
Oh,
And
she's
it
cursed by
solves
Odin?
Very little. This form is extremely limiting.
Didn't I draw my own emotes? Never. I've never drawn my own emotes, no. I'm doing good, Draco. Hope you're well. Never drawn my own emotes. Bye-bye. Have a good one, Ahmed.
The plants are extra aggressive in this humidity.
Oh. I was about to try and swing her. Ew. The plants are aggressive in this humidity.
I recognize this market. Villages would meet and trade here.
Aw.
Why'd they never
Working yesterday, home all week. Love that for you. Are any more of those gross fuckers? Ew, they give me ick. What is that? Did you hear that? I didn't like that. I didn't like that noise. Yeah.
Do you really think she'll let us off the hook if you help her?
I do not know. I choose to help. After that, we will see.
Aw, sweet Kratos. Aw, Drago, stop. I cry. I cry every time. But guys, I've been reacting to so much fucking, like, different, like, animes recently, and I've been having a fucking hoot. They are so good these days. Like, there are 3 shows that come out on the same fucking day, and they're all so good. And for what? ايه يا حبيب امك في ايه يا روح امك what issue what the fuck Diabetes Saturday literally
Suck on this, Pud Chaser!
Suck on it, yep. Oh, are they dead? That was easy. Y'all are embarrassing. Have you watched Solo Leveling? If not, are you gonna? Young, I already have. I've posted it on Patreon already, but I haven't edited it for YouTube yet. No, I have. It's on YouTube actually. No, it's on YouTube, Habibi. Don't have any beside One Piece right now, but after seeing your... Dude, honestly, I think Solo Leveling's gonna be great. I can already tell. I fucking knew it was a manhwa by the names, because the names were very... I think they were very Korean. I didn't know. No, don't worry, please. Don't worry. What the hell? Please, it's not your fault. Fuck. It's not anybody's fault. But I didn't say anything. I didn't know that manhwas could become animes. I didn't know that. That's so cool. I think that's why people are so hyped. It's because it's so rare, I think. Wait, is that the way I can? To avoid the copyrights, it is. Honestly, it can be kind of tedious. And I get sometimes a lot of complaints. People saying, like, why do you do this? A lot of people don't do this. I'm like, yeah, but that's probably... They're probably going to get fucked with copyright later. And I don't want to do that. From Fiskindria, I'm from... And I'm in Cojero. In Mostra Querida. Mostra Querida. Happened with my Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation series. Oh, really? I've never heard of that one, though. Is it good? Is it good? Blue Lock right now? Oh my god. I want to watch Blue Lock so bad, but because there's so many fucking active animes right now, it's been a bit intense.
They must have withdrawn, hidden themselves out in the wilds, and covered their tracks with magic. No way of knowing how many are left or how to reach them.
Yoke your channel and correct.
You can thank Mimir for that.
War with the Vanir was never my idea. My idea was brokering the marriage to end it.
A great success that was. Obviously, the peace was no less.
And also, they're making it extra good because Debbie the creator recently died. What?
As soon as I was
wait, so Young, is the show like? Sorry, is the manhwa done? Like, is the manhwa finished? Habibi, the oh my god, that's fucking. Did they at least know that they was turning into an anime? Okay, that's just dumb on my part. I should have not done that. What am I stupid?
Pretty sure there's loot you're missing.
Did I just do that? Did I just seriously do that? Period. His last wish. Farah, oh my god, get it together. That's so... that's both beautiful and incredibly dark. To be honest. How the fuck did I get back there? Shit. Shit! To go through all of that again?
Hey, look at that up ahead.
What are you saying, Brock? Brock, how do I get up there again? I forgot. Brock, I'm lost. There we go. Grandmaster of Dramatic Cultivation is good. It's a novel, a manhwa, an anime, and a Netflix. Jesus Christ. And the Untamed. Oh shit, okay. That's extra as hell. But I'm sorry, the whole solo leveling thing is kind of getting to me now. Alright, can you fuck off? Seriously? No. Oh my gosh, so annoying. Literally, Cap, I'm literally glitching right now. No! Oh my god, Young, please. Absolutely not. It's not. One, not your responsibility. Number two, I actually really appreciate the information. Three, I literally asked for the information. Please, do not feel bad at all. Oh my god. You're so nice, please. What was I saying? I was saying something, I forgot. Wait, I was saying something, guys, I forgot. Hi, Cav. Welcome back. Hi, Shania. Welcome back. Oh, finally. Fucking A. Fuck you. Fucking bitch. I keep forgetting that that's Freya. Ah! Bismillah, what the fuck?
Chew on this, gag-alive meat. Let's go!
allowed you to touch me, you fucking toad? Who are we hitting? Jeez Louise. My god. No worries, Chesney. No worries. No worries, baby. Good luck on your meeting. I'm wishing you all the best, Habibi.
Why do you keep bringing him up? My brother is no concern of yours. Do you understand?
Shut up, Freya.
I understand plenty.
Fuck you and your son that I murdered. Hee hee hee. You know what? That was a bit brutal.
The plant life grows more dangerous the further we go. Hope you're up for it, dwarf.
Listen, I know how bad it can get with one's own kin.
Fuck you and your son.
So long it was like not having a brother at all. Now I take some of the fall for that on account of me walking out. But it never stopped me blaming him most. Any of this sound familiar so far?
And what is your point?
My point is,
Ooh.
that we're at the end all of things after all. Once we got our heads right, it was like no time had passed. He went straight back to being as big a pain in my ass as he ever was. That's family. You gotta keep them close, or they make you good and crazy.
Why do you think I need to hear any of this right now?
So true.
My focus is on regaining my freedom, and I have no intention of being distracted.
Look, all I'm saying is, if you happen to find yourself talking to your brother, maybe the worst word said between you don't have to be the last one said.
That's
Enough.
sweet.
When the day comes to face Freya again, it will be when I am standing on my feet and free. Do you understand me? It will not be while I'm stuck in this preposterous situation.
Got a case of pride, I get it. Hope yours clears up quicker than mine did.
A touching story, that was.
That's actually kind of sweet.
You wish.
So where's the last one type? Anybody know where this is? Thank you for the shout out for Shania. I found two. We're third. We're number 3. Is it over there? No. Perhaps I have to go down here, but I already feel something bad is gonna happen. Nice.
What did Odin do to drive everyone away? What weapons did he make the dwarves build him? How much was just Mjolnir?
Guys, I can't find it. Where's the other thing?
Depends on the weapon and the man.
Can anybody find it? I actually cannot see it for the life of me. What the heck? Dude. Dude. Hello? Oh! Ooh. Ooh. Awesome. Yay, we did it. No, we didn't. It's an R. It's supposed to be an R. Sorry. Ooh. Nice. Look at that. We did it. We did it. Oh, yeah. We did it.
What'd you find? Sounds shiny.
'Cause it is.
This river. It used to be filled with boats of people visiting from different villages.
Wait, shut up. I hear a raven.
Never seen it so empty.
Freya, just shut up. I hear a raven. Okay, maybe not. Was it not a raven? Am I tripping balls or?
What is this?
Not now, brother. We've got company.
I can't do this one yet.
Let's go! Like it loud?
Are you fucking toad?
Got another one joining the party. Look alive! Show me what you got!
Show me what you've got. Anybody remember that Rick and Morty episode? Show me what you've got. Don't fucking touch me, Toad. The fuck?
Nasty hit. You all right, brother?
Thanks, Mimir. Hi, M. Baby. Give me a shout out for M, please. Hi, baby. Do I have an any list? Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, I do. I've watched a shit ton. Alright, let me just take a break for a second before I lose my shit. Let me get my Annie list out. Here. Here you go. Hi, M, baby. I follow back. I love Annie list. Annie list is so much better than my anime list, in my opinion. Maybe that's just me. I just find the UI so much easier to navigate. And it just looks better. I hope you're having a great day, M baby. I did. It's such a good movie. It was such a perfect length too. Honestly, it was such a perfect length. It was so good, and Gin was such like a perfect boy. Hi, Egg. Can we get a shout out for Egg? A quiet one. Thank you.
You can't do anything with that yet, it seems.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can't do anything with that either. Lame. No, because like honestly, a forest into Fireside's like was fucking phenomenal. I think I watched it like yesterday or the day before.
Hold up! If you want to keep your
being
insides inside.
I'm just being shy. No worries, no worries. No, you have a good one. Check out Egg if you haven't already.
Big guy. Your people not receiving visitors?
I wouldn't know. They're not my people anymore.
23 hours ago. Yeah, okay. So that was right. Okay. It was so good. It was so good. Like, genuinely so good. What a great movie. I thought it was a perfect length. What? What? He's a dwarf. Shit, that's kind of outlandish. Hello? So the thing is why did Odin trap him? Sorry, trap Freya. Is he feel threatened by her?
Quiet.
Shh. Should I order Panera?
What do we have here? Oh, One Eye, send another god to do his dirty work.
Who the fuck?
You're too busy. We do not serve Odin.
I'm hungry.
Picked a dangerous place for sightseeing then. All right.
Who the fuck is this guy? I don't like this dude. I don't like his tude. His attitude isn't gelling well with me right now.
For threats, brother.
Oh, I know that voice. You know, I'd cut off your head, but it seems somebody beat me to it.
Aye. Oh, quite observant, brother.
Thank you, cat baby.
Oh, no, you're no brother of mine. You sold my sister to that.
Oh, he's Freyr.
We broke it a piece.
Oh.
Freya's right here, bro.
Did you now? Where is it?
Dude, your sister's like right here.
And where is my sister?
Like right there as a bird.
Some dungeon in Asgard?
No, she's like right there.
Is she even alive?
Literally like right behind you.
Answer me.
Dog.
I guess we'll settle for blood.
Gee, your sister's like right there.
What is that?
Your sister.
Why do you speak in her
Welcome back,
voice?
Andrew.
It's me, Ingvi. There's no time to explain, just listen. These men are in my service. I'm here to reclaim what's been taken from me.
Your body?
It's too late. You can't undo what's been done.
Why not?
I can. I will. Now let them pass.
I know, right, Claudia? Imagine. Fucking disrespectful, honestly. Like, how could you not know who I am as a bird? The fuck? God. You don't even know me in my persona? Oh, shocker.
You served my sister.
How do you not know my persona? Rare. God.
Don't we all?
Guys, if you think I was an animal, what animal do you think I'd be?
From
Me
now.
personally, I think I'd be a fox. Brandon thinks I'm an otter, which I think is a pretty opposite perspective from a fox. I'm a bird and you will respect me. You think I'm a bear?
Leaving me hanging like that, you crusty hag.
The fuck?
Okay,
A penguin.
Come here.
A penguin.
Well,
Really?
found who I was looking for.
The fuck?
I'm gonna stay and catch up.
I'm definitely a capybara.
Yeah, now.
Do as you wish.
Totoro? You think I'm a Totoro?
Brother, if you wouldn't mind, I'd have a word with Lord
Are
Frey.
you guys serious? Otters are like dead. No, Brandon thinks I'm an otter because of the way that they eat on their belly. With like little rocks. Oh, otters are so cute. They'll like gang up on other marine animals. Really? Marine animals? Really? I thought they just get clams from the water and then just try to break them with rocks.
This here's my family, and I mean much to you.
Yeah, how the fuck do you think I'm a bear? I'm gonna take that shit personal. Oh my god, Kratos could like low-key like get out of hell.
I didn't realize the Hawks brothers were back in business.
We're even cohabitating like a proper family. So don't tell me.
Okay, well, then you can help me at the forge while you spill everything. Now, Brock, ain't you gonna introduce me to this tall glass of milk you got for a bodyguard?
Of course I'm gonna. That's Kratos. Though you can call him whatever.
Please understand you were strong and beautiful. Wait, bunny. Oh, thank you.
Kratos, Lunda. We go back.
Really? I thought I was just an otter. Cause like, look, they eat like on their little belly, and they just, and I thought it was so cute. But I think I'm a fox most likely. No, but then they, I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I am. Never mind.
That'll keep
I don't know who I
your
am.
in all the right places.
Who am I? Ooh, that one looks fire. It's not a phase, Mom. Okay, sorry. Oh, no, don't worry, baby. Ugh, guys, no. Tell me exactly what I want to hear. Tell me I'm a fox. God. It's like you guys don't even know me. God, Mom.
Let's make something then.
God. Thank you. Ooh, should we do an animal quiz like right now? Oh my god, let's all do it and then give our results. Okay, wait. Let me open it. Wait. What animal? Okay, let me open that. Watch her get it and get. I will get mad if it's a bad answer. I'll be like, what the fuck?
Anita Maxwin.
Thank you for the follow, Kudo. Welcome in.
Anita Maxwin.
Like this. Okay, let's do it. You are a platypus. Nor. What animal in? I don't want ads. No, I don't trust you. I'm specifically Perry the platypus. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's just do BuzzFeed. I trust BuzzFeed more. What about you is most animal-like? My appetite. I'm gonna be for real. Cat. What the fuck? Choose a truly terrifying. Ugh. I mean, I trust it more than a random website that's telling me to allow ads. I can't lie. That is the shit of nightmares. What is my preferred habitat? Air. Sorry, land. Sorry. You do give off golden retriever, Kate. Like, to a T. Disney house cat. Which cat would I be? Wait, look at her. She's so cute. I like her. Animals are amazing. The fuck? What's your biggest pet peeve? I think picky eaters. No. Spontaneous noises. Choose a famous bear. I'll choose Ted. He's funny. Which animal adjective? Wait, but no, that's that asshole. I don't like him. I'll choose Yogi. Fuck it. Which animal no, Baloo. From Jungle Book. Which animal adjective describes your love life? Why did it, when I read domestic, I was like, domestic violence? Domestic violence? Jesus Christ. What the fuck? No, because I remember who plays with Ted, and I was like, ooh, no. What animal? Extinct? Oh, Jesus Christ. Playful. Do you prefer company of animals or animals? Yeah, 100%. I am intelligent and wise beyond my years. Your intelligence is vast. Oh, thank you. And you have common sense along with book smarts. Above all, you have perspective that always allows you to see the bigger... Oh my god, thank you. I call that my autism. Do I look like an owl? My eyes are very small. Okay, let's do the Chester Zoo one. I'm not a zoo. I don't believe him. What is my favorite food? I do love steak. You got bear? That makes sense for you. Our bear queen. Okay. Now, what is your favorite color? Well, it's none of these, actually. But if I had to pick, probably black. Good choice. What's your favorite music? Pop. How about your favorite sport? Oh. There's no boxing. None of these. I don't like any of these. I actually despise them all. If I had to pick, I'd pick swimming, though. If you had to pick, what's your favorite drink? Alcoholic. But slushies are a very close second. I love slushies. Where do you want? That's something I've never shared, actually. Guys, I love slushies. Sad because one of the outcomes was unicorn. Okay, where do you want to live? What the fuck? What a random thing. The fuck is Borneo? Am I uneducated? I could have gotten llama. So sad for you. I'm gonna pick Kenya because it's closest to Egypt. Ooh, nice. What's your favorite weather? I like dry weather. A lot. Nearly there now. What is your favorite game? Well, none of these. I do love hide and seek, though. It's very fun for me. And lastly, your favorite dance move? Whip Nene. Stop. The cha-cha slide. I'm going to say Gangnam Style. I'm a penguin. I see that for me. That I actually do see for me. Fun fact for everybody who doesn't know, I am disabled. Okay. I have a very invisible disability when I'm obviously sitting down. I just want you to know. So I have a limp. I have a limp on my right foot. It's pretty obvious. Like the more I walk, the more obvious it is because I get really tired with my feet. So when me and Brandon weren't even together, we were just friends in high school. He told me, Farah, why do you walk like a penguin? So he didn't know. So I literally looked at him with the dirtiest stare of my life. Guys, I shit you not. The dirtiest stare of my life. And I said, I'm disabled, actually. So I've never seen a man whimper like that in my life. That shit was so funny. And then when Father came over, she's like, Farah, I will marry you for that kind of comment. I will force you to live a life with the penguin. How about that, motherfucker? Father also said the same thing. She's like, Farah, you walk like a penguin. I'm like, well, I'm disabled. She's like, oh. Yep. Choose my favorite hobby. Exercise. What the fuck? Absolutely not. Honestly, I love swimming. I do love swimming. But for fun, not as a sport. What do you eat the most? Peanuts? What am I, Anya? I eat a lot of fruit. What's my personality like? Sassy. Sassy. What would you guys say? Funny, sassy, outgoing, brave, caring, or friendly? I'll wait. Whatever you say, I'll still pick what I want to pick. But, you know, your opinion matters for nothing. But I would like to hear it. Sassy, right? Yeah. Figured. Brave. Funny. Oh, stop. Oh my god, Orzo, stop. I'm kind of feeling like I want to give you a VIP badge just for that. Friendly. Oh, stop. With a dose of... It's called trauma. What type of personality would you like your pet to have? That's the Kaido. Thank you for the 3 questions. Fucking useless. Okay, one last one. Guys, pick guys, you send me a quiz and I'll do it. Send me the quiz and I'll do it. You hang out with us, so it must be mean. What animal? 100% accurate. There's a fox. Okay, I have to do it. No, if there's a fox, I have to do it. How would you react to someone invading your territory? It depends. Yeah, it depends. Ooh, this one? I'll do this one after. What role would you have in a wolf pack? Beta. What the fuck's the omega? I think I don't know what I don't know what omega means, but I think I'd be like a very annoying woman. So I'd probably be the alpha female or something. I don't know. What's omega? What's omega? Does anybody know what this is? This is giving me the vibe of like that wolf thing on TikTok. It's kind of cringe. What's fascinating about animals? Honestly, their personalities. How do you feel about hunting? Absolutely not. Nope. What kind of animal are meant to survive? Cute ones. The lowest ranking individuals? Jesus Christ. Do you think life is survival of the fittest? I mean, it depends. I don't think it's the fittest in terms of body. I think it's the fittest in terms of agility and like mental or physical, whatever the fuck it is. I just got a horse. I guess I'm a horse girl now. Strap on, gamer. I mean, I hope it's not. What is the best technique to get someone to do what you want? Jesus Christ. Explaining the reason, yeah. I don't like this. What anime character? Oh my god, I want to do that one. Yes. And what Sanrio character? I bet you anything. I'll be like the bunny one that's a little evil. Not the evil one, the darker one. How easy is it for you to make new friends? A little difficult, because I'm a little divergent. Which one describes the way you deal with your tasks? Yeah, it depends on my mood. Kuromi? Yeah, I think I'm very much most likely going to be like her. What is your priority when starting a challenging task? Getting it done before the fucking deadline. Duh. The fuck? How many pets do you own? When? Are you a cat or dog person? I love both. Where do you say often... Would you say you often follow the... What? Because you know what you're doing? No. The fuck? I don't think I leave a path for people to follow in the first place. I don't think anybody follows me, really. That's a weird... I'm not a teacher. Which one is a better word to describe your relationships? Passionate, most likely. Would you consider yourself an optimistic... Oh, buddy. Pessimist. In your opinion, what type of animals are the scariest? Reptiles. Insects. Insects and deep sea creatures. Ugh. Which one are you afraid of? Losing touch with an old friend. Having a stressful job. Becoming making a stupid mistake. None of them scares me. This one grosses me out. Becoming submissive grosses me out. As a person. Personally. What type of people drain your energy? Narrow-minded. Yeah. People who don't like to open their mind a little bit, like people who are like very stuck on their own point of view and then they're not willing to listen to others. That really that really drains me personally. What would be a criterion when choosing your career? How I love it. The fuck? None of these. But out of all of these, probably the pay. No. Fill in the blank. All animals adore. I'm a beaver. That's just racist. Just because I'm in Canada? I'm not a fucking beaver. I'm not a fucking beaver. If I ever choose one of them, oh, that's adorable. Okay, what do I typically do after school? I don't go to school. Oh. No, I know. The quiz don't lie. It does. I'm not a beaver. Get home and immediately do... Absolutely not. I probably just go eat. What is one of your hobbies? Ooh, I like making stuff. Eating food. Favorite type of food? Sorry, drink. Soda. Favorite genre of anime? Ooh, that's difficult. I'm sorry, that's really difficult. I like psychological fuckery. I love psychological fuckery. But I also love drama and tragedy. But I prefer psychological. Things that will fuck with my head. You're eating french fries and your friend takes them without asking. I don't care. The fuck? Your sister gave you a gift you already have. Now you have 2 of the same items. How do you feel? I have a sister? Shit, I have a sister? That would be how I react. It's almost time to go to sleep. What now? Yeah, it's time. I start my skincare routine. Yeah, skincare. How messy is your room? It's messy and clean. Yeah, it's messy and clean. Like, this side of the room is very clean. That side, messy as shit. How many friends do you have? Ooh, not a lot. I mean, okay, if we're not talking just close friends, then I'd say quite a bit. Since there's a pandemic, describe your mask. Kitsu, stop! Kit, please, no! Kit, please. Oh my god, we're doing a...
I'm just traded with 40 viewers.
Hi, Kit. Welcome. I don't know why it fucking announces that. I don't like that. I have to fix that. Somebody remind me. Welcome in, readers. Hi. Welcome in, Walrus. Welcome in, B, baby. Welcome in, Shell, baby. Welcome in, Lid. Welcome in, Beth. Welcome in, Kit, of course. Welcome in, Misho Kahin. Welcome in, Gay Weed. Oh my god, Gay. I remember you. I remember your username. Fucking great username. Welcome in, gamers. Hi, gamers. I'm Farah. I'm a full-time content creator, streamer, a dipshitter. Doombringer, welcome in. I hope you guys are well. I hope it was fun over at Kit's house. Kit's stream. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. We're doing a character quiz. Also, guys, please feel free to raid a run. I saw a tweet yesterday talking about how you shouldn't ask people questions when they raid because it can come off like forcing them to answer questions and stay, but please go eat. Love you. Thank you so much for the raid again. Please go follow Kit if you haven't already. Kit is a sweetheart, literally. Did we get a shout out for Kit? But thank you for the follows, you guys. What the heck? Thank you. We're doing a what anime character am I? Force me to stay. I mean, if you wanna. Hi, Zaki, baby. Welcome in. But I'm trying to do what anime character I am. Also, can we get a shout out for B also? This is funny to me because I don't know if you guys remember the guy who was wearing the Burger King hat on the flight who refused to wear a mask. I don't wear a mask, so they put Burger King here. I don't know if you guys remember that one. You guys remember? He was wearing a Burger King hat on a flight, and he just said the hard N-word because somebody was mad at him for not wearing the mask. Jesus. Yikes. Yeah. I've never liked Burger King, I can't lie to you. Yeah, what anime character in the Sanrio, guys? Mew has sent me these polls, and I love quizzes like this. These are so fun to me. It's calling my oh my god, have fun with their I'm about to go get French onion soup from Panera after stream, so I want French onion. Yum. Do I sleep with a stuffed animal? Yeah. Are you an introvert? I'm a hardcore introvert. I don't know if you guys for anybody who it's the Faroh. Oh ho ho ho. Welcome in, Mopra. Guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but I am a huge introvert because I need to recharge by myself. If I'm around people for too long, I turn into a shell of a human. Truth or dare? Truth. The song is so sexy. No worries, let's enjoy dinner, baby. The song is so sexy. What color is your hair? I'm literally... Why did they do this to Kurapika, please? My hair is brown. Super dark brown or black. Imagine being around people. How would your friends describe you? Guys, it's your turn. Go ahead, pick one. A, B, C, D, E, or F. We should make it a poll. How describe? A, B, C, D. Oh, there's no option to add more. That's stupid. All right, pick one. You're very D. D's nuts. This song is so sexy. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my god, I'm feeling myself. Okay, I will go with funny, easygoing, and energetic. Why, thank you. Last question. Which pencil? Ooh, I have a collection of pencils. I have a collection of pencils. Of specifically lead pencils. Like a collection. Wait, you said E? Well, fuck. Well, too late now. Well, too late. Yes. You're welcome. If you got 12, you're super unique. You care about others and you make your best effort to support your friends. You deserve better. Yeah. I deserve better. Ooh. Why is this kind of dark? I've never watched this anime. I've never watched it. Is he good? Is he a good character? It's really good? Oh, thank you. I haven't watched this anime. I want to watch it, though. Is he not a good character? Is he a sad character? Well, now I want to watch it. Fuck, I'll take a picture of it. Damn it. Fine, I'll watch this one too. God. So many animes to watch. So little time. The only thing I remember about that anime is the motorcycle scene. I don't know anything. You gotta watch it? Okay, fine. I'll watch it. Okay, so I'm hearing that I'm not a good person from this. Great. What would you say? Your role? Definitely not this. Definitely not this. I don't know what I am. Guys, what do you think I am? I don't know. Am I the badass, the ditch, the slacker, the leader, or the baby? I'm definitely not the leader. I'll be fucking real with you. I hate leading things. I fucking hate it. She says it's a stream leader. Blech. Pick something, please. The baby? You're crazy. You're actually crazy. There's no way I'm the baby. No. Wrong. You think I'm the badass? Ooh, I don't know about that either. I don't know. I might actually be the baby. I'm very emotionally the baby. Fair, shut up. Yes, mommy. Sure. I don't know what I do. I don't know what to pick. I don't know what to pick. This is so hard. Leader or baby? I'm going to pick baby. It's definitely not that one. I'll be a baby. What are your favorite types? I don't feel like anybody is any one thing. Everybody's diverse. What are your favorite types of pets? Scary movies? It's kind of cringing me out how they're typing this. Scary things are my cup of tea. How do you handle crushes? No, I'm very upfront. I'm very upfront, to be honest. Someone hurts your friend. Ooh, they're dying. Oh, anybody hurts my friends, they're fucking dead to me. What is your favorite subject in school? Lunch. When you're sad, what do you usually do to lift your spirits? I eat. Oh my god, it's actually there. Do people usually find you intimidating at first? Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, usually, yeah. What's the quickest way to your heart? Food. Thank you. What do you like to do in your free time? Eat. Which dessert looks the yummiest? I don't like desserts, but that looks the best. Yeah. What is your favorite season and why? Fall. I love the fall. The leaves look really pretty. I'm pom-pom-purine. Pom-pom pretty. No worries, B. Good luck, good luck. Enjoy food and good luck on your meeting. You're just fucking chilling, man. Your favorite place in the world is the comfort of your home, eating yummy snacks with your friends. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're generally unruffled by most things, and your favorite activities include napping, eating, and spending time with family. People who don't know you well might judge you as a lazy or slacker. Okay, this might not be right. I don't like desserts. I like salty food. Okay, this might be a little wrong. I'm gonna redo this. Yeah, that's a little wrong. Okay, fine. I'll fuck it. Where's the baby? Cats and dogs. Okay? I don't really care. How do you handle crushes? I just tell them. The fuck? Yeah, I don't like sweets. I really don't like sweets. Someone hurts your friend. They're dying. What is your favorite subject in school? It is still lunch. I'm sorry. I don't like desserts. I just really don't like desserts, Claudia. When you're sad, what do you usually do to lift your spirits? Ugh, I usually do cry out alone. Or I do bake. That is true. Do people usually find you intimidating? Yes. What is the quickest way to your heart? It is food, though. But it is food. What do you like to do in your free time? I do hang out with my friends, I guess. Or in interests. Still this one. This feels right. I don't, though. This actually makes me feel super self-conscious. This is so wrong. Okay, this is also a little bit intense. Okay. This is hard. This is hard for me. I feel in the middle. I feel in the middle. I feel in the middle about all of these things. I feel in the middle. Orzu, what did you get? No artifact? Sag. Brock looks so intimidating. Jesus Christ. Choco Cat? See, I don't know all the names of the characters. I just know... I know Rilakuma, because he's cute as fuck. Oh, okay. Give me the tier list. Okay, go ahead. Give me the tier list. You're gonna reap the day. You're gonna reap the day you sent me this because you're all gonna fucking hate me. You're gonna hate me because I really dislike desserts. Like, genuinely, I dislike desserts with a passion. Like, you don't understand. Send it. Go ahead, send it. I'm going to save the game, and I'm probably going to do the tier list, and then we're going to end stream. Can you not do that? Here, I'll do it. Thank you for trying that, BB. Am I a fruit? Yes. Hardcore. Girls tonight. Skip the ones you don't know. All right, per. Are they with like pictures? Oh my god, they're pictures. Oh my god, there's Milfay. Okay, see, Milfay is my secret pleasure. Okay, how do I close this? I prefer fruit over anything, to be honest, as a dessert. Which, by the way, healthier for you. How the fuck do I turn off the fucking PS5? I forgot. How the fuck do you turn off the PS5, bro? What the fuck? Oh, there you go. No, that's log out. Fuck. How do I turn this fucking thing off? I forgot. The way that I've forgotten how to fucking close the game. Okay, I know how to close the game. Okay. Close game. Okay. Okay, there we go. Turn off. There we go. Good. Nah, she's just fruity. Also facts. Okay. Let's do this. Agar. Fucking gross. Nope. 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 Okay, this is like a B. Absolutely not. Ooh, baklava's different. Banana bread is also built different. Yeah, no. No, no. I love bingsu, but it doesn't love me. Brioche is okay. Brownies are a solid C. Bubble tea, that's a B. Bubble waffles, ooh, that's a B. No, no, I don't like bun cake at all. Cake pops suck. Cannolis, ugh, average. Caramel, no. Carrot cake, ooh, actually carrot cake kind of fucks. Castella, no, no. No. No, chocolate chip cookies, I can barely handle them. Max, like C. There should be like an in-between. Bismillah. Fatima, baby.
Lurking but Tilly.
Thank you so much for the 27 months, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And original words, enjoy your lunch. Send me pics. Put them in the Discord. I want to see lunch. I'm hungry. I'll also be sending me pictures of lunch. No, please respect for... I did. I put it in a higher... I put it at A. The fuck? I love carrot cakes. I put it right here. The fuck is the issue? Fatima, thank you for the 27 months, baby. Faroh, should talking to you in what way? I was saying that you called me a penguin. Just keep your dessert to yourself. She hates those. I do. Listen, D for me means I really dislike these. D means I dislike you. C means I can handle you. B means I would actually not like I would like you. A means I kind of crave you sometimes. Churros. Untouchable. Ugh. Ugh. Ooh, crepes. That's different. Ooh, creme brulee. No. 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 Frozen yogurt. Fruit salad. Fruit tarts. Ew. No. 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 Average. No. 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 Lassi is okay. Lava cake. That's a B. That's a B. Guys, I'm very intense about this right now. Macaroons is a B. No, not macaroons. Madeleines are ass. Mango sticky rice. That's a vibe. Meringue. Millie crepe cake? Sure. Millefeuille. Untouchable for me. That's number 1 for me, dude. No. Milfei is untouchable. No. Mochi. C. No. I really fucking hate pancakes. I fucking hate pancakes. Panna cotta, that's up there. Meow, welcome in. Can we get a shout out from Meow, please? Hi. And can we also get a shout out for Pablo? What the fuck? Hi. Fucking hate pancakes, y'all. Fucking hate pancakes. My apologies. Not the shrivel. Yep. No, they can totally. Pecan pie. Okay. Pecan pie with a glass of milk. What did pancakes do to me? They existed. They fucking ass. Oh, I love popsicles. Fruit popsicles. Yummy. No, profiteroles I don't like. Pumpkin pie. No. Red velvet cake and sugma. Ew. I fucking hate s'mores. Our preferences don't match. It's okay. S'mores are disgusting. Sorbet? Hell yeah. Souffle. I'll put that as a B. Strawberry shortcake. That's a B. Strudel, no. I don't like sundaes. Swiss rolls, no. Taiyaki. That's a top. It's not even sweet. I'm sorry. It's not even sweet. Taiyaki's not sweet and it tastes delicious. Unsubs. Tiramisu. Okay, that's also not really sweet. It's mostly like bitter. And I love it.
Anita Maxwin.
Thank you for the follow.
Anita Maxwin.
Ooh, that's a really awful username. I don't like truffles. Do you have cake for your birthday? No. No, I don't. I don't like cake. Unless it's a fruit cake. Cheese. How is cheese a dessert? The fuck? Love cheese. Yeah, I love not too sweet desserts. Yeah, 100%. Fair. I love dates. Dates are different. That shit's delicious. That's not... Japanese cheesecake is perfect. It's not sweet. I love it. Turkish delights. Okay, also not really that sweet, but I will put it at like a... If I had to. It's a B. I don't really crave it. Is that thing called barfi? What is barfi? Bread pudding. That's a C. No. Butter cookies. No. Japanese crepes. I was gonna say Farah gets those fruit air. What are you talking about? Barfi's so good, but I don't know if you'd love it. To be honest, I don't know what barfi is. I only like things that are fruity. Atayef. They have an Arabic dessert. Guys, you don't understand how good atayef is. How do they spell it in Arabic? Atayef. Guys. They're not really sweet. They have like a custard in them, like a cream in them, and it's like filled with pistachios. They're so good. They're so good. No. Okay, this is different. Gulab Jamun is not that sweet. That's a fucking S tier thing right there. Hotok. I actually do like hotok. No. I don't like pavlovas. You're welcome. Here's my tier list. Almost everything's in D tier. You're welcome. Almost everything up here is fruit related. I don't think Gulab Jamun is that sweet. At least the one that I have at my friend's house. The one that I have isn't that sweet. I'm sorry. Did we get a shout out from you? Yes, we did. Okay. And then for Paolo? No. I mean, it's fried dough and sugar. It doesn't count. Yes, I do. Notice I do. I really do. Yes. And stream mode if you're leaving. Fuck Pavlova, bro. No offense. Okay, no. Apple crumble should be an A. I'll give you that. Listen, if it's fruit, if it involves fruits, I'm doing it. Except millefeuille. That fucking shit. I crave millefeuille like a mother. Churros, yum. Crepes, fuck yeah. Frozen yogurt, I literally crave it every night. It's so bad. And I get, you know what flavor I get? You guys are gonna hate me. Wait, actually, I don't want to Google that just in case I get doxxed. But I love tart frozen yogurt, like the plain flavor. I don't like the flavored ones. Apple pie. Ooh, I like the apple pie, but it's too sweet these days. I don't like it anymore. It used to not be sweet growing up. With a bunch of fruit, right? Fruit, fuck yeah. But if the moment it's not fruity, I'm like, ugh, disgusting. Do you like the one from McDonald's? You? I used to like it. I don't like it anymore. Honestly, let me look through this again. Maybe there's something I'm being a little too harsh on. I respect you, but I don't understand. You're better than me because I'd be like cussing myself out if I were you. Is there anything that I don't like here? I mean, I actually really don't like eclairs. Actually, never mind. I really don't like eclairs. Okay, flan. Okay, I'll give flan an 8 here. But I didn't like it. Fair. Eclairs make me shit. Are you lactose intolerant? I'm lactose intolerant as fuck. This s'mores are the fucking. Blech. I don't know who the fuck likes s'mores, but if you do, please seek therapy and maybe get like your palate cleansed or something. You need to fix yourself. Fix yourself. What is wrong with you? Why the fuck do you like s'mores? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why? What's wrong with you? Get help. Get help. Disgusting. Actually, Dango shouldn't be there. No, but I like dorayaki actually. A little bit. I like anything with bean, like red bean. S'mores are disgusting. Disgusting. No, I've had them on an actual campfire triper and they're disgusting. Okay, first of all, I hate marshmallows. They're too sweet. They're disgusting. I hate them so much. Second of all. Okay. Second of all. Okay. The chocolate. I hate chocolate. I fucking hate chocolate. They're not that sweet. I don't like lemons. Things that are too bitter.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop. Okay?
Andrew's pissed.
No more. Where the fuck are your
I'm sorry. I just don't agree with
Who
you.
are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services.
Yeah, I don't like chocolate.
It's time to stop.
Marshmallows originate? No, they don't. Shut the fuck up. Are you serious? Oh my god. I'm so sorry to my ancestors. Actually, I'm so sorry to my ancestors. Khiba, I'm so sorry. Where did I put ice cream? Ooh, no, I put ice cream. Actually, where did I put ice cream? Oh, right here. A tier. I like dark chocolate. I hate normal chocolate. Yeah, I like ice cream. Ice cream's fine because I can be fruity. I hate like any other like. Actually, sago doesn't count. It's usually made with like mangoes. Never mind. Anything else that I don't like? I'm looking at it and I can't tell anything else. Guys, gingerbread, fucking vile. This shit, fucking disgusting. No, not really. Notice, not at all actually, except the Oreo one. In like small doses, but the gingerbread. Ugh. I made gingerbread once and I vomited. Gingerbread is genuinely fucking disgusting. Actually, any one of you fuckers who likes like that fucking I forgot what it's called. You know the candy corn. Yeah. Disgusting. Banana bread slaps. Banana bread is up here. Candy corn is disgusting. I don't understand why everybody's obsessed with that. Yeah, Oreo McFlurry just slaps. It slaps so good. That's ice cream. It counts. Yeah, this is a candy corn free space. I also hate anything pumpkin tasting. Like, I'll be honest with you. Fall can sometimes be a lot for me because the scent of pumpkins makes me very nauseous. So having like pumpkin spice lattes everywhere, the fucking pumpkin spice like candles from Bath and Body Works, I'll be honest, it like genuinely makes me dry heave. And it's just a thing for me. It's just, it's too much. Because usually with pumpkin, they put a lot of cinnamon. And then I get fucked. Okay, mince pie doesn't count. Mince pie isn't even sweet. It's like fucking beef. Let's put it here. Okay, fruit smoothies are delicious. I love fruit smoothies. isn't big on anyone. So really, I feel like so many people talk about how much they love pumpkin spice. I think someone made a batch of candy corn and peep in 1957 and peeps in. Perhaps. I don't know what peeps are though. I don't know what peeps are. Okay, but we should go find somebody to raid. Let's go find somebody to raid. Let's pick somebody. Ooh, Sage. Let's go raid Sage. I love Sage. Sage has just created a stream team, you guys, for coworkers. So if you are a co-working baddie, Meow, or anybody else, please go make sure to apply to Sage's stream team. Sage has literally made a fucking awesome co-working stream team. Apply. Go apply. Like, I would, but I don't I don't co-work anymore. I only did co-working when I first started, when I did my week-long stream. But anyways. Yes, thank you for posting the raid thingies. Thank you, guys. Oh my god, Sage is so beautiful. It's actually a crime. It's actually not natural. Okay. Go follow Sage if you haven't already. The co-working era has left. For me, personally, yes. For me, yes. Just because I can't do it anymore. This channel is intended for mature audiences. The fuck do you think this channel is? The fuck? Okay, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye, guys. Me. Okay, and go follow. Okay, I'm going to post a link just in case the raid leaves you here. Go. This is where we're going. Copy paste that. If you are a sub. If you're not a sub, please use the other one. Yes. I'll be live next. Oh, Meow just in. I see Meow in Sage's stream. Okay, if you guys haven't already, just know I'll be live on when the fuck am I live actually? Wait, the way that I don't remember my schedule, because it's not in my normal schedule, because I'm going to get a really awful ultrasound soon, which I'm really not excited for. Okay, my next stream is on Saturday, 10 a.m. EST. I'll see you then. I'll tell you all about the trauma that is that intrusive ultrasound. Guys, I have to fucking maneuver something. It's like an internal ultrasound, and I'm really not looking forward to that. So I'll let you know all about that trauma. Have fun. See you guys next time. See you Friday. Bye.